Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Welcome back to the Stoned Crow Virtual Pub. I'm joined by, which way is it? This way. I'm joined by Alex. How you doing, Alex? From
I'm very
Dorking.
well, thank you. How are you getting on this evening?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Good.
Really pleased you joined us. Really pleased you joined us. Down Norfolk, were you? Or Sussex, isn't it?
So sorry for Dorking Brewery, but I'm actually just moved house, so I'm coming to you live from the mighty Bristol this evening. But yeah, so we're Surrey based, and I'm coming in from the southwest.
Bristol. You're just
Yeah,
across the water from us. Just
yeah,
across the water from us in Barry Island. You can probably see us across the
yeah.
channel.
I'm making way over the Severn Bridge.
So are you selling beer up this end for Dorking Brewery?
We do a bit of everything really. So our main customer base and our focus is Surrey and obviously the surrounding areas. For us, sort of local is a massive sort of part of what we do and what we want to support. But we deal with sort of wholesalers and distributors up and down the country. So there are people that have had our beers in different neck of the woods and bits and pieces on a sort of ad hoc basis.
Brilliant. We got one from Matthew from Beers of Europe saying, evening all. Hope you have a good one. Alex is an Arsenal fan, but don't hold that against him.
Yeah, not great. Not great. Me and Matthew do speak a little bit back and forth over that. And after last weekend with a 3-0 loss to Aston Villa at the Emirates, I'm sort of got my tail between my legs and can't really say anything.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking forward to this all day, Alex, and you know me, you know the channel. I'm dying for a beer. What have we got first?
Cool. So obviously we've got a bit of a selection tonight to work our way through. But the first one I think we'll go for is one of our newest beers. This is our Surrey XPA here at 3.8%. Just a really sort of easy drinking, light citrusy, extra pale ale. We can dive in and see what you think.
Brilliant. Okay, let's get this chair out the way. Let's get it open, shall we?
Yes.
All these beers can be purchased from the website beersofeurope.co.uk. That's beersofeurope.co.uk. A lot of you, I tell you what, comment in the comments box, everybody. Let us know if you've bought the Dorking Brewery, the few beers that we've advertised, to have a bit of a drink along from Beers of Europe's website. Yeah, put it in the comments box. Let's see who's bought the beers and let's see who's drinking a Surrey XPA. It looks really nice, really light and floral and fluffy. I haven't had a beer since Sunday, so I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah, that looks very nice. Very nice. Light golden coloured beer. A quaffable beer, Alex, as we'd say.
Yeah, most definitely. The sort of reason behind this one was for a while we've been sort of thinking we want to produce something sort of very light, easy drinking and approachable. With the Dorking Brewery range, they're sort of designed to be consistently good, sort of easy drinkers, and sort of get people who might not really be drinking craft beer or real ale necessarily. We wanted to sort of produce something that's light, easy drinking and citrusy. Something that can be enjoyed by someone who maybe doesn't want to jump straight in with a really hoppy number or something too pungent or too strong. This is for your sort of easy drinking, sort of midweeker. Very light, citrusy. Obviously the malts in there are sort of similar to like a lager base as well. You sort of get a dry finish, which is quite nice. So again, for those boys that maybe are lager drinkers and not ale drinkers, this might be a good sort of gateway to sort of introducing them to what ale is, and they might find some qualities that they like about lagers and other bits. But this is a really nice easy drinking session beer.
This this has got all the hallmarks of a Tuesday night. Oh, we've got our first super chat of the night from Alan Mead, £2.29. Evening, Simon and Alex. Happy Tuesday. Alan Mead, Irish craft beer guy. Thank you so very, very much for your support on the channel for the £2.29 super chat.
Fantastic.
So Mr. Fuggles, 1, has put, what hops are in this ale?
Yeah, so here we've got a mixture of sort of British and American hops, which is quite nice. So we've got Summit, Pilgrim, Comet, and Jester. So yeah, again, they're all sort of very sort of approachable. A nice mix there to sort of give a sort of bitter finish and sort of a light floralness, but nothing too punchy.
Alex, I must say it's really lovely. It really is lovely. Someone's put alcohol content. That's Jeff. It's 3.8% ABV, but this is really crisp. Really, really. If you could describe crisp, it's a funny one, isn't it? It's like people use the word sharp to describe things and crisp, but it really is. This would be one of the most ultimate kind of crisp, clean, refreshing, drinkable brews that I like these light ABV beers. I really do. I like to session beers from 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon and kind of go all the way through until the roast dinner's cooked at 5.
Yeah, exactly.
I love a Sunday drink, and this has got Sunday drink written all over it. 3.8% ABV. You're not going to get yourself into any kind of mess.
No, it's a good beer to sort of start your afternoon off, wherever it might be, sort of thing. Again, quite nice on the low ABV front if you're having sort of 2 pints midweek and don't want to feel it too much the next day. Then it's just a sort of great beer. It's a good sort of fridge filler to have and a go-to when you sort of want that sort of beer that sort of ticks the box of having a beer, but yeah, it's not going to haunt you too much afterwards.
Lovely. We got 2 questions coming in now. Oh, but we got another super chat from Daniel Bale. Here you go, Simon, and his guest. Thank you very much, Daniel Bale, for the £2 super chat. I'll just very quickly cover the super chats, Alex, because we'll get all sorts of things going on tonight. There'll be a point in the night where I say, come on, let's hit the like button on the video. The more people hit the like button, the more it gets shared about, the more people see it. The super chats are people who choose to support the channel. It's an amazing, amazing thing that people do. Their comment gets highlighted, so you get to read the comments, and it kind of like springs out at you rather than because there's so many other comments in there. The colourful comment is the paid one, so you get to kind of like jump at it type of thing. Then we have memberships. People can choose to pay a membership fee, and they join the channel for as little as £1.99 a month. And that's just, again, to support us. There was another question I missed, and we got another super chat from Joel Morris, £2. Do you guys make a stout or a porter? That's for you, Alex.
Yes, we do. We'll come on to that a little bit later. But we do a very nice sort of easy drinking 4.5% sort of classic London porter. So yeah, we'll go into that a little bit later in the evening, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go through some of the comments because I've missed a couple of important ones. I always like, because people are putting their hard-earned money in, I like to grab the super chats. You got alcohol content. Here we are. Paul Goggin, who's drinking along with us. Good with the pizza, great beer. 9 out of 10 from me. Slight grapefruit. There we are. That's really nice.
That's very nice.
We got Simon Wood, my good friend Simon Wood, has joined the chat tonight, and Neil Smith. This is actually a really good question because it brings us on to the next part of this chat. And can you introduce the background to the brewery, for Dorking Brewery? Can you do that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, probably should have started with that. So for those that don't know, and probably for those that do, might want a little bit more. Dorking Brewery is an independent veteran-owned microbrewery just south of Dorking in the county of Surrey. We produce a range of sort of classic beers with sort of a modern twist, what we're trying to do. All of our spent grain goes to feed the local dairy herd, who we share the farm site with, where we are on Old Hurst Farm, which is really nice. We're carbon neutral, and we take sort of great pride in the sort of area where we are, in sort of Surrey Hills area of outstanding natural beauty. So the practices that we have, we try to sort of maintain and enhance the area and the community where we are. And our aim is to sort of be the best brewery in Surrey, really. Through our beer, the way we deal with our customers, whether that's on trade and off trade, the experience we can give people, the knowledge, everything else. So it's everything's a process, and we're getting there. But yeah, that's sort of us in a nutshell, really.
Fantastic. So, where did you start? What year? What year did you start?
So the brewery was founded in 2008 by three friends, and they were at a different site in the actual centre of town, near one of the railway stations there. And then my colleague and brewery owner Neil, who's sort of ex-Navy, took over the brewery in 2016, and then we moved site to a slightly larger, sort of nicer area just outside Dorking town, on the farm, like I mentioned there, with the working dairy herd. So we've been brewing there for the last sort of 3 and a bit years.
Fantastic. So are you brewery based, if you like, or do you have any pubs that you run as well now? Or
no, so we sort of have been toying with doing a little bit of taproom stuff on site at the moment. We've been hosting events sort of every Friday and Saturday where we can, obviously with the COVID bits and pieces in the current situation, which has been quite tough. The plan for the new year, as we sort of grow in bits and pieces, is we're currently looking at developing our site a bit further. So making that an attraction to come to a little bit further out of town, having like a bar, food offering, and a retail shop and bits and pieces to create a full experience for those that come. And then we also plan, or are sort of looking at the moment, for any sort of ventures that do crop up, whether that's pubs, bars, restaurants, anything like that, in and around Dorking town. We'd like to have somewhere sort of on the high street of Dorking town, and make it sort of people's local as well. So that's the plan for sort of fairly aggressive growth.
Fantastic, fantastic. I'm going to grab this super chat. Happy birthday to my fellow Marines in the United States Marine Corps. Semper Fidelis. Cheers to the patrons of my local, the Stone Crow. So, Alex, the Stone Crow. What would you like to know about the Stone Crow?
Well, I think I'd like to know how you sort of decided what made you sort of make the decision to take it online to the masses, and obviously how it sort of evolved from maybe an idea to sort of what it is in the community you've got now.
Well, I've been playing with the idea of lives for ages. I used to do a couple of lives on Twitter. They had a Periscope. Can you remember Periscope on Twitter? That was like a live, very similar to this type of thing, a live thing. Then I did a lot of Facebook lives, cut my teeth on there, if you like. And then all of a sudden, March the 20th happened. And all the pubs shut. It was a Friday, 6 o'clock. Everybody was told to leave the pubs. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I was distraught. I was absolutely distraught.
Okay.
Because first and foremost, I'll be perfectly honest, I thought that was it. I thought, where am I going to get beer to review on YouTube? No more traveling for a long time, that sort of thing. And I decided, I said to my wife, I'm just going to do a live stream. I'm just going to go live on YouTube and gauge people's opinion and reaction as to what they feel. And it was a really emotional night for everybody because it was brewers watching. And there was a lot of people who on here. I'll ask the question to you, people tuned in. Who joined the first March the 20th feed, just put your comment down if you were here March the 20th. But what happened then is that we carried on the live feeds as we were shut, as the pubs were shut on a Tuesday and a Friday, just to really support people, just to support people. And they've got a couple already. Daniel Bale was here from the March the 20th. Aidan was here from March the 20th. Alan Mead was here March the 20th. Tom Weir. So we've built up. It's like a local. It's strange. I'm reading all of these comments, and I cannot put a face to most of these people.
Yeah.
But I've been speaking to these people twice a week, having a beer with these people twice a week since March the 20th. So a lot of people on here who've given us fantastic support. I kind of, know and love. It's really strange. It's really strange. So we just evolved it. I asked the question, what should we call this thing we're doing twice a week? People said, let's call it a virtual pub, and we called it the Stone Crow. And it just kept on evolving from there. And to then Beers of Europe saying, let's start bringing breweries on. Let's evolve it into getting breweries into the Stone Crow and having a chat with the likes of you. Hi, Mally. How you doing? My wife's just coming in from work, so in the background there'll be a little bit of jacket potato making. Now they've been in the oven.
Right. Very nice too.
Yeah. So that's the Stone Crow virtual pub. I will say at this stage, can we hit the like button? The more we can hit the like button on this feed, the more it'll go out to people, the more it'll get shared. So we got 200 people tuned in at the moment. Can we do 130 likes? Let's do 130 likes on the channel. And there's a good chance for me to do this, Alex, so I can do a couple of things at once. Yeah, I can. Oh, my wife's washing her hands anyway. Yeah, can we do it? So we got 92 likes. We're nearly there to 100 likes. Hit the like button down below. Can we do 130 likes? 95 likes in. Where's my beer? I nearly grabbed the microphone then. 96 likes. 97. Come on, let's get to 100 likes at least. And then we'll push on to 130 likes. So you can see, Alex, the more people are liking it, the more people are tuned in. So we had 198. Yeah. Now we got 213. Yeah. It is a Tuesday, slightly quieter on the Tuesday. It's balmy on a Friday. We have so many beers. So many beers. But I'm sure we'll have a few tonight now. 105 likes. Come on, let's do it. Let's get to 130 likes. Hit the like button down below. We got 106 likes. Come on, let's push it. The more we can get people to like it down below, the more people we can get tuned into this live feed. We got 107. Okay, well, we'll leave it for now. So that was the story of the Stone Crow virtual pub. It's been fantastic, Alex. It's really been fantastic. Tom Weir is asking, what is everyone drinking? We'll start off with, what are we drinking? We're drinking the XPA.
Yeah, this is our Surrey XPA session beer.
Yeah. So do we have many people from the brewery tuned in tonight, Alex?
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah, we've done a big shout out across our sort of socials and bits and pieces, and I've just posted the link on our Facebook and Twitter, and hopefully people will follow that tonight, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we get a few. And I've also sent it out to all my work colleagues, so I'm sure I'll get a bit of banters flowing on there as well through WhatsApp and bits and pieces. So there's a few people checking in for us for sure. Brilliant.
Well, that push now. That push has pushed us towards 220 live viewers, which is amazing, and 122 likes. So we're nearly there for 130 likes. Lord's Brewing Company. Now, Alex, these guys are absolutely fantastic. Another company that has been supporting us fantastically well since the beginning of lockdown. John at Lord's, he was here Friday. He drove down from Yorkshire. He brought us a beer machine. The Linda, the Linda keg machines.
Yeah.
So we had a Brewfit machine, Brewfit Linda 25. Brewfit linked us up with this machine. and John drove it all the way down from Huddersfield with 25 litres of his Pilsner. So he connected it up in unboxed it,
Yeah, I
up, and
saw a little bit of your video today from the Friday, was it, on your channel for this evening. So it looked like a nice little present to have. Bit dangerous to have in the kitchen as well.
Amazing, absolutely. Well, I've set it up in the bar now out there, but amazing. Do you want to come in and yeah, Mal's going to come in and do a roast jacket potatoes. What a magnificent tash, he says. A modern Tom Selleck. That's John from Lord's Brewing Company. There we go.
Very kind. It's just a little bit of awareness for Movember. Since we're locked down, people aren't going to see me anyway, other than a few bits. It's just a little something to be conscious of, obviously, with everything going on. So a small gesture and a bit of fun, but for a good cause.
Fantastic. So thanks, John, for the £2 super chat. We got a £5 super chat from Always a Red. Alex, excellent Movember work. Can we all do a Joe Exotic style mustache like Alex's, please, for the Stone Crow, including you, Simon? Well, I just haven't shaved. I just thought, right, this is my kind of Movember. Just leave. I'm a very patchy kind of beard grower, so I thought let's see what happens this year. I do it once a year, just let it grow out, see what happens. See if we got any more hairs on our face. Okay, so we did the 130 likes. Felix, we might do that later on. Let's get a couple of beers in first. The embarrassing drunk stories can wait till later on, if of course Alex wants to partake in that. Nice looking spuds, Mel.
Yeah.
Says Travis.
Oh, thanks, Travis.
I haven't introduced you. This is my wife, Mel. This is Alex. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Dorking Brewery. Try that's really nice. XPA 3.8%. Lovely.
It smells pretty good as well. Tasty. Yeah.
Good aroma. Yeah. Really good. Really good.
It's nice.
So we got to the part where we were talking about your brewery. How many beers have you had over the years? How many different kind of what was your initial core range when you first opened the brewery? Was it more kind of traditional best bitters, darks, milds, or was it always kind of new world stuff?
We sort of kept it fairly similar over the last couple of years. For us, it's about we wanted to create a range of beers that people sort of recognise over time that are brewed them sort of consistently well. We're not one of those breweries that sort of is like a new beer every week and all this sort of thing. For us, we wanted to have sort of half a dozen or so beers that we make sort of regularly all the time, something for everyone, and those beers are sort of well known and for what they are, and for Dorking Brewery. We do specials here and there. We've got a few in the pipeline, especially for next year. Now that we've migrated our production into cans, it gives us a bit more flexibility as to the range of beers that we can produce. So now we can flip our business to doing a can run and then casking or kegging whatever's left as well for sort of on trade, which is great. So it gives us more flexibility. So I deal with the sales and marketing for the team. And there's 2 or 3 of the boys that do the brewing. I know they're really keen to try every style and, bring out new beers all the time in bits and pieces. So, there's a fine balance. But for us, the first beer was our best bitter called DB1, which stands for Dorking Brewery 1, which is a 4.2% sort of just very easy drinking modern best bitter. That's like one of our core beers. It goes well whenever it's on the pump all year round sort of thing. It's a great beer whether you're sitting and watching the rugby or something at home or in a pub or however you want really. That's been one of our sort of most popular. The XPA is sort of becoming pretty much a core beer now, just because it is that sort of light, easy drinking, approachable beer. And we've got the sort of Surrey-esque sort of design which is on here, which is sort of like the Surrey-esque landscape. And obviously the sort of Surrey name, so it's just a illustration from one of the views in the Surrey Hills. So that beer is obviously very close to our heart. It's got our sort of name and where we brew in bits and pieces.
So is that a local historic landmark on there that's been there for a long time?
Yeah, so we found a local illustrator she does really good work, sort of depicting different views from in and around Surrey and other sort of country-esque scenes. And we found the print that she'd done of that and said, look, we really like it. Would you be okay if we put it on a beer to sort of sum up Surrey in bits and pieces? So yeah, she said yes, and yeah, each of our sort of cans has a bit of a meaning to it, and that's that one.
Brilliant. That's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to get some comments. Joe Biden's dentist has asked, because he's watching in Ohio, in America. We've got lots of people watching from all over the world tonight. But no, Alex is watching just over the water in Bristol. It's like a channel of water, no more than a mile long, I don't think. Watching, but the brewery is actually based, Joe Biden's dentures, the other side really of the other side of Wales. So more kind of North London, is it? Would you say, or even further east?
No, you've got Surrey. If you've got London, everyone knows where London is. If you draw a straight line down, then you end up in Surrey. So you go down.
Right.
So we're sort of southeast. So yeah, you've got Surrey, and if you go further, you get to Sussex, where Brighton is on the coast. So we're sort of sandwiched in between London and Brighton. If you were to draw it on a map, you could draw sort of a line, and that's where we are.
Fantastic. Right. I'm rubbish with stuff like that.
That's right. Well, good people to know.
This is flying down. I want to say again, www.beersreview.co.uk is the place to order the Dorking Brewery beers. This is cracking. Really, really good pint. It's like it's a canned conditioned beer as well. I got a little bit of sediment in the bottom of my can, which is even more awesome. I love a bottle conditioned beer. I really do. Yeah,
so all of our beers in our cans are unfiltered and obviously unfined. So you will get at the bottom of some of them a little bit of sediment and stuff, but that's just from the dry hopping process and bits. So yeah, we don't filter anything out. We find that can sort of detract from the flavour and the mouthfeel. So yeah, all of our beers are unfiltered, unfined, and obviously vegan friendly.
I've been a beer salesman myself. I worked for a number of months as a beer salesman, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Bit of an old school beer salesman, just driving up and down the motorways, knocking on pubs' doors. That sort of beer salesman.
Yeah.
Collected money as well, as you do. But I never got the opportunity to sell canned beer. Is it easier to, as you're the salesman for Dorking Brewery, is it easier for you to sell a can of craft beer than a bottle of craft beer?
I think in broad stroke general terms, yes, cans are a little bit easier to sell. I think, like everything, it's about trends and bits and pieces. And I think at the moment, everyone is sort of going on the can hype, which is quite good. I mean, they're more environmentally friendly than glass bottles. A lot of people say because they're completely sealed, the quality is better. There's less chance of oxidation than in a bottle. Obviously, because we post quite a few of ours out via courier and they go on the van, the local deliveries for people at the moment, you've got less chance of breakage with cans. And also, if you do get a spillage or a breakage in the brewery or wherever you are, no one likes dealing with broken glass. It's much easier. If a can explodes, you can just put it in the bin. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, they're just a bit better to handle, I think, all round. I think the other advantage is with a lot of people, you get the advantage of the surface area for sort of the detail in the can and bits and pieces, which I think people quite like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Oh.
Your ingredients and hops and other bits and pieces. So yeah, I think it's a trend, but I think it's one that's going to stay, definitely.
I think so. Yeah, it was a funny. It all went 330 first, didn't it? The little 330 cans.
Yeah.
And I always remember the big regional breweries really kind of being really standoffish with with cans. I remember having a conversation with a head brewer of a regional brewery, and he said, cans will never work. They'll never work because people are used to buying cans in a 24 pack for kind of 11, 12 pounds, a slab of cans. It'll never work. And it really has. Of course, I disagreed. I think the difference was when they put them in the large 440s and the 500ml cans, the tall boys.
Yeah.
I think that was when it absolutely made an incredible difference. As you said, being able to brand a can and market a can, there's a lot more surface area to play with. And another thing as well, when you go in bottle shops or can shops these days, the wall of cans are really nice to look at, aren't they? They almost drag you in.
Yeah, definitely. I think also as well, with the labels and bits and pieces, like you said, it's appealing to the eyes, and often when you get one in your hand, you're more inclined to sort of spin it, have a look, and sort of read about it and compare 2 or 3 different ones. I don't think you get that same sort of buying experience or interaction with the product when it's a bottle. You're not usually limited on space. A 330ml bottle is a 330ml bottle, but these are really nice. We've got our cans, for example, here are white. Obviously, you can get silver, you can get black. I wouldn't be surprised if not too long before they start doing every colour of the rainbow cans, different breweries, different beers. You've got different textures of label you can apply, like a matte finish or, a more sort of textured feel and bits and pieces. So, I think you get more creative space to create a product, and then as a consumer, you've got more sort of artwork and bits and pieces to sort of absorb and enjoy as part of the experience.
Absolutely. Mel haven't eaten since lunchtime, and she gets in and she getting her dinner ready, and then the phone rings. So, there we are. She's nearly there. Nearly there. Okay, so we got a lot of people saying what they've been drinking. Joe Biden's dentures in Ohio and America is drinking a Three Weavers Expatriate IPA from Inglewood, California. First time I've had it. Where are you all from? Let us know in the comments box. Where are you all from? And of course, what are you drinking? I'm going to move on to beer too. I'm not sure if I'm racing ahead here, Alex, or
No, I'll join you. Spot on.
Brilliant. Okay, so are we talking about the Pilcrow Pale?
Yeah, I think so. That's a good one to jump onto next.
So what's the name of this beer then? Pilcrow. Is that an area of Dorking?
Yeah, so Pilcrow is the first beer that we brewed with the new team when Neil took over the brewery. So this is our beforehand. Dorking Brewery had done sort of best bitters and bits like this. This is sort of the first beer where we put a modern twist on it, and this one is sort of packed with a lot more American hops. So it's a very easy drinking, sessionable 4%. But it's got that nice sort of modern twist. And Pilcrow is actually a grammatic symbol, which means to sort of start a new paragraph. It's been used for centuries. So this was sort of our fresh start when we took the brewery over in 2016. This is the first beer that we produced, and it's sort of a traditional pale, but with this one has got heaped with Citra and Chinook. So it should be a bit juicier.
Lovely, and this one's coming in at 4% ABV. Yeah,
again, very easy drinking and sessionable. But it's got a bit more sort of darker sort of colour as well compared to the XPA. But American hop.
We got another super chat coming in as I'm pouring this beer. Look at the quality on that. Look at lovely amber coloured beer, good levels of carbonation, fingers, slightly off white head. Holt Mark B says, cheers, Simon and Alex. Great viewing. Good to learn from a UK brewer in these times. And I'm enjoying. We'll certainly look out for Dorking Brewery. I mean, fantastic. I mean, I'm drinking I've drunk a few of their beers. I've been sent a couple of different. I think a couple of people have sent me some beers from your brewery. So I've got quite a few out there now in the conservatory. But I've enjoyed a couple of them. They've been really good. But this is the first time I'm trying this one. But thanks, Hope MacB, for the super chat. What else have we got? Yeah. Lots of people just saying they're really enjoying the stream. Jim's in Bristol drinking a Loch Lomond IPA. Brilliant. So lead us away with the aroma, Alex.
Yeah, so again, this one you'll notice obviously is a slightly darker colour. So we haven't gone as much on the sort of Cara in this one. So yeah, you're going to get sort of a much more sort of roasted sort of flavour on the nose, and bits and pieces on this one. Again, not too overpowering, and you're getting sort of slight sort of grapefruit and sort of stone fruit. So you might get a little bit of peach and bits and pieces. But again, it's not a juice bomb by any means. It's just a really sort of easy one. And then if you want to dive in for a bit of a taste,
yeah, cheers, Alex. That's lovely. Really sessionable, really nice. As you mentioned, peach. Yeah.
So sort of stone fruit flavours in there. You might apricot, grapefruit, peach.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So
a bit more.
Bit of flesh
Exactly.
in there as well.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it's a really sort of, this is one of our core, probably another one of our core products. So it's just again a really sort of easy drinking pale, and it goes really well on cask, keg, and in can as well. So yeah, it's a little bit darker, but again, a real sessionable beer.
Lord's Brewing Company has to go. He has a Zoom meeting. He's saying good luck, Alex. Great to see independent breweries doing well. Support local breweries. Absolutely, that's the reason why we're here. To move on to the current situation we all find ourselves in, Alex. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want it to dominate the conversation tonight because we're always kind of flooded with news. We're always flooded with it in the online news and newspapers and whenever we turn the TV on. So people like to come here to escape from all of that stuff and have a beer with us and pretend it's a real pub. But how has the situation affected you guys down at Dorking Brewery?
Yeah, it's obviously been a really roller coaster, really. When Boris announced in March that everything was shutting and there was a national lockdown, we were predominantly a sort of cask-based brewery. So we had about 350 casks downstairs in our cold room. And beforehand, we were sort of about 90-95% on trade. For those who don't know, that means sort of selling to bars, pubs, and restaurants directly to then sell on to customers. So that's the way we were sort of set up. Obviously, the lockdown happened and the situation sort of evolved from there. And then we had a bit of time that was forced upon us to sort of think, right, how do we react to this? Like many sort of small businesses up and down the country have done. So for us, we sort of grabbed the situation sort of by the horns, and we were really lucky. We didn't have to throw a single cask of beer away.
Wow.
Which was fantastic. We managed to sell all of it doing takeaway. So we do beer in box in 10 and 20 litre sizes. We do 5 litre mini kegs, and we do 1 litre growlers. So we were very fortunate and managed to get everyone to the local community rallied round. And I think people obviously still wanted sort of fresh cask beer, even though pubs were shut. Obviously, at the first start of that period, we were blessed with really good weather as well. So I think everyone was having barbecues and passing beers over the fence to their neighbours, bits and pieces, and everyone was sort of rallying around, which was really good. So yeah, we managed to not throw a single cask away. which is, I know a lot of people and other breweries didn't have that luxury or weren't able to do that, and a lot of beer did go down the drain, which no one likes to see. It's a lot of money, time, and effort sort of wasted, which is really sad. So we were quite fortunate like that. And then we had always planned on doing cans. It was one of those jobs that kept sort of getting pushed back and pushed back. There's always something more immediate. We obviously didn't have any pubs or restaurants and bars to call and keep in contact with. So we sat down as a team and said, look, the only way we can sort of sell more beer is people directly, and people want cans. We've been thinking about it. Let's just do it. And really, really quickly, have to commend the team that I work with. Everyone moved very quickly and dynamically. We're a very sort of young team, actually, and everyone came together with some ideas and various bits. And within about 6 to 8 weeks, we had 3 different can varieties in. So we've actually only been canning since the start of April, and now we've got 6 that we've done, and we plan to do a 7th in January. So yes, it's been a tough time. It's not been ideal. We've had to make improvements to our website and bits and pieces. But if we try and find the silver lining in all of this, when this does eventually end, and it will in the new year or spring, wherever it might be, as a business, we are looking at having brought on a load more sort of customers and really great interactions through socials and bits and pieces. We made plans to develop our brewery site and get a tap room, as I mentioned before. And also when pubs, bars and restaurants do come back, we can sort of do that straight away. So hopefully we'll actually come out of this stronger and bigger than we were sort of going into it. So we're hoping to turn a negative into a positive, really, and just try and make the most of it. So we're hoping to come out of it, stronger, bigger, and a better brewery, really, out of it.
It's amazing. It really is amazing, because just to hear that you never threw a cask of beer away is absolutely fantastic. Is that so when it comes to selling the cans, is it a case of one of you filling up a van and like knocking on bottle shop doors, or is it more of a case of doing it online and doing it through your socials?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a massive learning curve. I sort of never sold that product to retailers before. There's been a number of ways we've sort of done it. I think especially now at the moment, since I say we've had the cans, since you've been in this sort of situation, sort of knocking on doors and bits and pieces isn't really an option as much for health and safety and bits. But we've turned to social media quite aggressively, and it's not something I've done loads of before. So I actually manage Dorking Brewery's social media and bits and pieces. It was a skill that I had to sort of teach myself when we were in those first few months when there wasn't much else to do, and sort of retrain and sort of make myself more useful for the company and the team, which was quite good. And now we've seen a huge growth. So in relation to sort of cans, it's looking on maps and sort of Googling sort of bottle shops and bits and pieces, either giving them a ring. I quite like reaching out through Instagram to some people if their business looks like it's sort of an Instagram-based business, which, as I'm sure you know, a lot of can and bottle shops are like that because they like the visual aspect that we spoke about earlier of those cans and new releases. And there's obviously a massive craft beer community that sort of lives on Instagram and bits and pieces for new releases and all this kind of thing. So it's been a real mixture. Social media has helped massively because you can obviously share your products and your profile and what you're doing just with a link in an email or via an Instagram message. But sometimes we'll put some cans on a van, drive them to a small place that's doing takeaway, and just say, look, here's a 6-pack of cans on us. Give them a go, see what you think. And if you are in the market for some cask or keg beer to your takeaway customers, give us a call.
Brilliant. Okay. Lots of. I'm just looking at all the comments that are quite interesting tonight. Right. Okay. So we got one from Dominic P. during the first situation, as I like to call it, I started to really miss cask ale. And once we came out, it was all I was drinking for a few weeks, especially from the local breweries.
Good man.
So the story here, Alex, for me is that me and my wife had children. And we moved here. We had children, young family type of thing, and we made a conscious decision together to just bring the children up and always be around type of thing. So it was one of the reasons why I started the channel in the first place, was to drink a lot of beer at home, started the YouTube channel, it became a lifestyle thing. But of course that was like 10, 11 years ago. Middle daughter's 13, going on 14. She can babysit now. And we just started to go out. We just started to trust the middle daughter to look after the younger daughter. And we started going out to the pubs, and not crazily, maybe once a week to start off with. It was like we had to dip our toes back in the water to become social again, you know? So we did that. And as soon as they announced all of this stuff, it was terrible, because whereas before we chose to stay in and bring the kids up and whatever, now we were told we couldn't go out, and that is a completely different mindset for me, because I don't like to be told, you know, what to do type of thing, and I found it a real struggle. Did you find this current situation? How did you find it mentally?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really sort of tough one. I guess I can only speak obviously from personal experience and bits, but obviously when they did announce, you know, these changes and what was happening and what it meant, there was obviously a little bit of panic in the back of my brain. Obviously doing sales for a brewery, for a predominantly cask-based brewery, when there's no pubs or bars or restaurants to speak to. Like you say, I thought I, you know, potentially could be one of the first ones to be furloughed or let go or whatever it might be. So for me personally, it was about sort of just trying to just help out where I could and add value. And that's where I said, look, I'll put my hand up and I'll do social media and other bits and pieces. But on a personal level, I don't like being told not to be able to go out in bits and pieces. And obviously knowing what that means for small businesses like ours, and obviously people who own pubs, bars, restaurants and stuff, I can imagine it's been really, really tough. I was lucky enough to sort of work the whole way through, doing any and everything that needed doing, really, just to sort of see us through, and just sort of volunteering to be useful. So that was quite good, as it kept my brain sort of busy. I don't do well, you know, if someone said take 3 weeks holiday and don't do anything, after 2 or 3 days, I start to get itchy sort of hands, feet and fingers, and just sort of want to do stuff. Even when I'm on holiday, I can't help but just sort of think, you know, and check in. I like being busy, so being told to sort of sit there and do nothing would have been torture. But like I say, I was lucky and I was blessed to sort of be able to keep working the whole way through. And I mean, there were some positives. I think it made me appreciate sort of friends and family and bits and pieces. And like you say, you've got this thing going on here, and it's sort of grown. You know, doing those sort of like games nights via webcam or virtual pub quizzes and stuff. I think especially in the first few weeks and months, you know, it was a real novelty and it was a bit of escapism, which was really healthy. I'm getting quite into my cycling as well, so obviously the exercise exemption to go outside was really good. So just sort of take out some sort of any sort of frustration or any feelings of anxiety and that sort of thing, and just try and just run or cycle just to sort of get it away, really. How about yourself? How have you guys sort of been dealing with everything, really?
I'm gonna get a comment, because it's a really interesting comment, and then I will put that in the back of my brain and answer that.
Yeah, cool.
That question. We got a comment from Paul in Scotland, and he says, can we ask Alex if Five Claw is in, or are they planning to put any of your beers in the supermarkets?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, we'd absolutely love to. We are open to sort of doing anything with anyone really, or who will have us to an extent. Yeah, I mean, we'd love to sort of link up with a supermarket chain. It takes a lot of, we've made some initial inquiries, and it does take a lot of time to go through certain channels with bigger businesses. And fortunately and unfortunately, the can market is extremely saturated at the moment, because so many breweries obviously have moved all their products into can. Those that were in bottle before have now moved into can. When we first looked to book canning slots, they were booked up for about 6 months straight with every canner in the UK or something stupid. Like, everyone just said at one point they'd run out of aluminium for cans. So we'd love to do it, and I'd be open to speaking with anyone who's looking for like a local range or something like that. Yes is the answer, and maybe the next quarter of next year, in the springtime, when hopefully things return to some sort of normality, we can start pushing those for those sort of retailers.
Yeah, and so for me, just living over the water in Wales, we've had a slightly different situation. Second time round. So we experienced, and I always feel nervous saying it. It's not nervous, but what's the word? A bit sheepish in saying that we had tremendous growth in this whole situation, and I speak about it to friends and family all the time, in that there was lots and lots of people all around us in like being furloughed, in not knowing the future and everything else, and whereas before we were ticking along, we were doing okay, all of a sudden we went from doing 200,000 views a month, which was incredible for us. Last Christmas, we did 250,000 views in the month of December, and we were jumping for joy. And then all of a sudden, March, April, May, June, we start doing 500,000 views a month, because people are looking for stuff to watch, live streams, YouTube videos. All of the cans started coming through from breweries. Then they wanted the beers reviewed. There was then, of course, the interest of what's in this can, and like tonight, we've got over 210 people tuned in, and people are just, they've just become really interested in home drinking all of a sudden. So we then decided to invest in beer machines. These like Blade beers and Phillips Perfect Drafts and this sort of thing, because there was a massive market for it. We even built a bar out in the conservatory. We built a massive bar out there for the Stone Crow. Bit cold and wet to use it in the winter, but that was our bar. So we experienced something very, very different, and I always feel sheepish talking about it, because of course there's a lot of people out there that haven't fared too well with it. But what I found with this particular lockdown, or I should say this particular situation, I shouldn't use that word, is that I found myself, because they said it was going to be like when Boris announced it in March, it was like bang, 6 o'clock, close the pubs. It all happened so quickly. Nobody had time to think. But they gave 4 days notice this time. Like the pubs will close 6 o'clock on, was it a Friday here in Wales? Yeah, it was here in Wales when we had our second lockdown. It was a Friday, wasn't it? About 6. Say Friday at 6. Anyway, I felt myself counting the hours down before we went into that situation, and thinking, I can't go to the pub. I'm not allowed to go to the pub, and I found the anxiety built up in me then. The last couple of hours, the anxiety levels were massive. I don't know, just found it really weird, really weird. Was it the same with you? Because you guys was it just last week? What wasn't it?
Yeah,
Did you find
so they
you had notice this time round? Did you find you were like, oh my goodness me, like counting down the hours type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, again, I can only speak from personal experience. We were actually, me and some of my friends for the last time went to another brewery in London, Wimbledon Brewery, who are fantastic. And we sat outside there and watched the final weekend of the Six Nations. And obviously, then in between two of the games, they switched the channel over. He did his announcement and said, another situation is going to be happening, and
Yeah,
it's going to be on from Thursday. So we all sort of sat there and like, well, everyone sort of knew it was coming anyway, I think.
yeah,
And I think a lot of people, especially in the trade that we're in, I don't know whether the curfew at 10 p.m. was really tough on a lot of our customers, and they actually said it's maybe better for us to, instead of limping along at 10 p.m. and not really being able to do anything, just to actually have it officially shut. And then when we restart, hopefully they'll relax those laws, and then we can go properly. And instead of just sort of ticking over and sort of just wheezing along, put brakes on, then we'll restart and gear it up for Christmas. So, yeah, we had a few days' notice. We had that last big weekend with the rugby. And then, yeah, on Wednesday, I know a lot of people went out and had their sort of last night and bits and pieces. But, yeah, I mean, if you know it's coming, you sort of mentally prepare yourself. And I think now we've done it once as well. Even
yeah,
though people aren't happy about it, people I think now are like, I know, I can spend my evenings doing what I was doing before, maybe. I think the only downside this time is obviously that it's in November for us, and it's a month, and it's dark at 4 p.m. So even if you work at home or you're going to work or whatever it might be, you don't really have that freedom which we had in the summer, where you could sit outside and have some beers with your housemates or family, or
yeah.
pass the can over the fence to your neighbours and stuff. This time it's sort of bleak, miserable, and dark, and that sort of outside time has been absolutely slashed. So yeah, it's tough.
It's very different. It's very, very different. Yeah, yeah. I want to be as positive as I can, but yeah, I think it's going to be a long winter. It's going to be a long winter. Well, we got 200 people watching. We got beers in our hands, Alex. Let's brighten the. Well, I mean, we had to cover it. I wanted to ask you these questions because I've asked every brewery that we've had on the same questions. It almost seems like it's going to be some kind of like next year is going to be like a survival of the fittest type thing. That's how I see it anyway, in terms of every business, not just the brewing industry, but every business. Look at Premack. Premack don't have any kind of online sales. So
no, exactly. I think it's going to be a case of, we've been fortunate, we've adapted, but if you're a small business or a large business, if you can't move enough to either change what you're offering or deliver it through a different channel, then I think, unfortunately, across all sectors, like you say, there's going to be a lot of casualties that won't survive the winter, or if they have a rubbish Christmas because the high street isn't what it should be, or I don't know. It's going to be the new year. Potentially going to be a little bit sort of depressing, really, when we sort of do come out of this eventually. We'll see who's left, really.
Yeah. Joe Biden Stengers in Ohio, America says thanks to Alex for joining us at the Stone Crow. Thanks for the $2, Joe Biden Stengers. This beer's absolutely tearing it down. I'm really enjoying it. Really tasty.
Yeah, it's probably our best seller sort of all year round. That pale ale, and again, it's a completely different beer when it's on cask. I think I prefer this one slightly on cask as a personal preference because of the flavours that sort of come through, and obviously the way it sort of delivers. I think that's what's really nice about our brewery is actually you can experience all the beers sort of twice, because what you get out of a keg or out of a can at home will be different if you then get a mini keg or a growler from us of fresh cask beer. So even though we do about 6 or 7 different beers, because we produce them in different formats, they're just completely different beers, depending on where you're drinking them and how they're served, which is really exciting because I love cask beer as much as I love sort of craft keg and can.
Brilliant. Yeah, I want to say as well, on the hour, you can check these beers out at www.beersofeurope.co.uk. We got another £2 super chat from Joe Morris. Do you guys make a Hell's Lager or a Golden Ale? I'd say we're drinking the Golden Ale right now.
Yeah, near enough. So we are looking next year potentially doing another lager. I think we've seen, I'm sure you'll probably agree as well, the interest in sort of German beer just seems to keep going up and up and up, especially in the UK. We were planning on hosting a Oktoberfest. We were actually going to get a sort of mixed palette, which is about 50 or 60 cases of different beers from Beers of Europe. And we were going to host a sort of tutored tasting. Obviously, unfortunately, the situation put the brakes on that, and we couldn't do it because of seating restrictions and tables and bits and pieces. So we parked that for now. But I think the market trend at the moment, people seem to be getting really into their German craft and Belgians as well. So I've seen you've also had a few videos doing or receiving fantastic beers from the fatherland and stuff over there that look really good. I think people who like lager want to try a lager that's actually got some flavour. Yeah, I saw that. They look awesome. Yeah, really good. So yeah, we love to do, if we modify our kit, we'd love to produce a sort of German style, like heavy lager would be lovely. And the XPA that we had before, this used to be a beer that we used to do called Pacific Gold, which was like sort of more classic golden ale with New Zealand hops. Yeah. But we found that whenever you sort of mention the word gold, sometimes it conjures up an image of sort of an old school style of beer. It can be floral, but some people in the modern age think it's a bit flavourless and a bit sort of watery. That's maybe not the case for all of them, so we decided to produce an extra pale ale instead and sort of just modernise a little bit, and it's like a reinvented version. But yeah, we used to do a gold, but now we've gone for the extra pale.
I'm gonna push for 200 likes. We've got 200 people in on a Tuesday night. It's very good for a Tuesday night. Can we do 200 likes? Hit the like button down below. Come on, we can really push this. We can get people tuned in. I'd like to think we can get 250, 300 live viewers. It's 8 o'clock. We're in prime drinking time. 171. Look at this. We are flying towards that 200 like mark. 172. 28 likes to go. Hit the like button down below. Let's do it. I was going to say something, but I've forgotten, and that'll be a theme for the evening now. The more I drink, Alex, the more. Oh, that was it. Right. We had Adam from Calver's Brewery on, and it was really interesting. We had him on back in the summer, and we had lots of people tuned in to the live feed, and we decided, because I couldn't visit the brewery and do a collaboration, because I brew collaborations all over the world when we're not in this situation. We thought we would do a virtual kind of. We asked the audience what they would like us to brew, and we came up with a collaboration. Calver's brewed the collaboration. We decided to brew a Baltic Porter because they were predominantly a German style British kind of lager company. They produce really nice lagers, and we went for the Baltic Porter, which is a really strong, dark lager style beer. Yeah. So I'm wondering if that is something we can perhaps talk about. If we could decide to do a collaboration together, we could ask the viewers what they'd like to brew or what they'd like to see from us, And then we have a load of comments, people saying what, all the different styles start coming in. And then we choose what's most popular.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So is that something you guys would be interested in?
yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's ask everybody. Comments, please. What would you like Real Ale Craft Beer, Dorking Brewery to brew as a collaboration? So we got the first one from Joe is saying a quad IPA, so a Belgian quad and IPA. That's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's big. Right, there we are. So Beers of Europe. So what we did with Beers of Europe, we actually put it on their website, and you can see there in the comments that we put the Baltic Porter on their website, and it sold out because it was really popular. Can you see that, Adam?
I'm just waiting for
Adam, can you add it?
All right. Okay. My feed is a little bit behind yours, I think, on the live one. So there's some stuff coming through. Where am I? I'm a minute or so behind, I think.
We had the quad IPA. We got Imperial Porter. Do a milk stout together. A garlic porter. That's interesting. Weizen. A Dunkel. Oat stout. The Dorking Dunkel. Yeah, Doppelbock. The Dorking Dunkel. That sounds that sounds pretty interesting. A wasabi beer. That's interesting. Hell's Lager, says Cal. So Paul from Scotland saying a twisted breakfast stout. The Dorking Doppelbock, black IPA, Russian Imperial Stout, barley wine. Now they're coming in. Look at this: salted caramel milk stouts, Weizen. Yeah. What are you thinking, Alex, from these comments? What's striking you as something we could brew together?
I'm say coming around to my German bits and pieces. I think they're really popular at the moment, and sort of on point. So that would be quite exciting, and something different that maybe other breweries don't do as much of. Anything that's sort of, I think barley wine is quite niche and a bit dangerous, but again, pale IPAs, are quite easy in bits and pieces, but what are your sort of favourite styles at the moment that you've recently tried or that you've sort of revisited?
I think you would have to be absolutely striking. We're doing this live. Lots of people tuned in. Lots of people enjoying it tonight. I think. Have you guys ever brewed a Weiss beer, a Weizen? We've had lots of people saying Weizen.
No, we haven't. No, I really like getting into them quite a bit and stuff. I think they're again very popular. Yeah, really, really good drinkers.
Dr. Kelso says something darker for the winter season. That would be pretty interesting. So maybe a winter bock or a dunkel or something like that, like you say.
Yeah, really like a traditional ruby and do something in a can for a change, something like that. That's quite easy going. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just looking at the Aiden saying hard to beat a Weizen. Yeah, I agree. The Dorking Dragon Vice says DJK Wickstar. Yeah, lots of people saying Weizen. I mean, maybe we could. If it's not too difficult, we could put it in principle. If it's not too difficult to do, maybe we do.
Yeah, I better be careful agreeing stuff to the team before I get a slap on the wrist tomorrow morning. But
exactly, yeah.
We are always open to doing stuff with people and never say never. So 100% keep it there, and happy to revisit it. Yeah, for sure.
Brilliant, fantastic. We got Rune from Norway. I went to brew a collaboration with Rune in fantastic Norway 2 or 3 years ago now. Well, I went back for about 3 years in a row. I went first of all brewed an Imperial Stout. Then I went back to brew a double IPA, and then we brewed a New England IPA. So I've been 3 times. back and forth to Rune's Brewery in Norway, brewing collaborations, and the beers have done really, really well. Some of their best-selling beers. So, yes, so we got a brewer in tonight. Hello, Rune. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sending us some comments over to Alex. Beers of Europe are back. Do a collab, and we will launch it in our restaurant tap room. That's a really nice gesture. Really lovely gesture from Beers of Europe. Brilliant. Brilliant. I'm well up for that. Launch it in the restaurant tap room. I mean, with the current situation, hopefully we can make our way down and kind of do a few tasting sessions with the local people down there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a bit of a shame. We were really starting to gain some traction with our events and stuff, especially after the first phase when the situation ended in July, when they reopened pubs and stuff like that. We had live music and bands and stuff playing at the brewery, and the weather was glorious. And I think having spent so long locked up, people were just sort of gagging to get out and sort of mingle, obviously within the social distancing rules and stuff, but, just come out to some live music again, which people hadn't really been, able to enjoy, and the sort of cultural side and that, and it's gone really well. And then the restrictions came in and sort of sucked all the fun and bits and pieces out of what a night sort of should be out. But yeah, I mean, I think, we were doing really well with that, and yeah, we'd love to host any and everyone down, and we'll put on a full spread of tastings. And like I say, if it's a nice night and we can get some live music and bits going, then we'll sort of show you how we do in Dorking.
Brilliant, yeah, and Beers of Europe, everyone's welcome. And then we got Joe Biden's dentures in Ohio in America saying, Beers of Europe, cheers and thanks for making this happen. Love to hear from brewers. So lots of people enjoying the stream. It's doing fantastically well. We've had a couple of people saying we've lost a few viewers to Bake Off, but that's gonna happen, isn't it? Eh?
Yeah, you can't compete.
Yeah, but it's not bad. It's not bad. We got 180 people tuned in. I'm sure it'll come back. But I'd love 200 likes. Hit the like button down below. 200 likes. We're 14 likes away. Let's get to 200 likes, and then maybe we can push it back up to 200 live viewers. While you guys...
Well, I've just had a message from the boss man about the collab, and he's just said, yes, so if we get 200 likes, then we can pick the style or whatever down. We'll have a chat after this, pick a style, and we'll do it, and we'll take up Beers of Europe on their offer. So, get the likes in, get everyone sort of hitting that button in bits and pieces, because it's going to happen now.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So 191 likes. We're 9 likes away from 200 likes. 8 likes away.
And a collab. There you go.
And then we get the collab over. Well, we'll get it sorted. I really, really, really enjoyed this Pilcrow Pale. 4% ABV, a modern pale ale, fresh, zesty, and balanced. That was really, really lovely. We done 204. Look at that. A sip of beer over the line. Look at that. We're doing really well tonight. Where are we moving on to now, Alex? Are we going to go with a 5 claw?
Yeah, so if you want to keep going on the hops and bits, we can go up to our sort of more, our West Coast IPA. So, yes, we can do that. So this is, again, a beer that we launched in January. We wanted to produce something, sort of much more modern. So the two that we've tried before have got sort of elements of modern hops. So a mixture of sort of English or British, and American hops. And then as a team, we sort of wanted to make something that is sort of really on point at the moment. We all know that American craft beer and styles and hops are sort of sweeping the globe, and the British sort of brewing scene is playing catch up with that American craft scene. So we decided that actually we want to make something, obviously, it's still approachable and palatable. It's a 5.1%. So it's one of the bigger beers that we do, but by no means is it, a classic in terms of 7 or 8% that you might get, or a juice bomb. This is just a really nice, again, sort of approachable West Coast IPA. It's got 6 different American hops in it that combine, which is really nice to give you sort of a very juicy, sort of pungent fruit on the nose, and then a sort of dry bit of finish at the end. So yeah, really well balanced beer, this one.
Sorry. Blimey. Let's get it open into a glass. I went to talk and got caught there. I keep going for that microphone. Is that all right? Glasses over there. So we are doing fantastically well tonight. We really are. Sean is saying, "Is that a crow on the t-shirt?" It's a cockerel, isn't it? I'm sure
it is indeed. I can bore the masses with the story. So the cockerel that I've got, this one here, I've got this side, is the famous Dorking cockerel. It's a type of chicken that was brought over, they think, by the Romans when they first came over, and it's a 5-toed chicken, which I'm told is different to how many toes a normal chicken might have. So it's quite good in that respect. And then the Pilgrims who first went over to America were from the town of sort of Dorking and Reigate, where we are. And apparently one of the things they took was this Dorking cockerel with them. So it went on one of the first voyages over to the New World in bits and pieces. So yeah, in Dorking, the symbol for the football club and the town is the Dorking cockerel.
Yay! Brilliant! Absolutely fantastic! Really cool. Brilliant. Yeah, it looks, again, lovely beer. Lovely beer. I like to work a glass in. You the same as me, Alex? I never, when I go to the pub, I always keep my glass back. I like to work a glass in, because I just find you get a much better head once you've used the glass a few times. Much better head retention on the beer. But that's a lovely, beautiful head on that beer. Golden American kind of amber coloured beer. Quite clear. Good levels of carbonation. Let's get the aroma.
Yeah, so again, you're going to get sort of big, punchy, juicy flavours on this one. So you might get sort of pineapple. So whereas the Pilcrow was more sort of stone fruit, this is more probably tropical. So yeah, I think pineapple is the big one. Yeah, really nice on the nose. Sort of, yeah.
I'm calling Mal. What are you doing? Mal, come and try this a sec. Oh, she's gone. She's off.
Yeah, they're off. Fair enough. But yeah, big tropical, juicy flavours on the nose, and then on the mouth, you should get sort of a first hit with that, and it should finish with a nice bit of dryness.
I called her because the aroma's terrific. It's right up her street, but she's sorting the animals out. She's had a long day. She's had a long day in work.
That's all right.
Oh, Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. That's lovely.
Oh,
that is really nice. Really, really clean. Again, really clean, really crisp. Fantastically drinkable. There's something to be said, isn't there, for these kind of 5%-ish or lower than 5% packet full of hops. Got lots of flavour in there. And just, it's amazing, isn't it? Beer brings people together. Alex, we came on before the feed, only 5 minutes before the feed come on. Had a quick chat, and then bang, we're live. And after a couple of beers, it's like I've known you for 30 years.
Yeah, it is good. It's nice. It's a good subject that everyone can sort of bond over. And obviously the setup you've got here with the comments and obviously getting independent breweries on and other bits and pieces. It's a nice community. It's something everyone can sort of get around a table or a virtual one in this instance. And yeah, it's sort of I think the great thing about it is that beer sort of makes everyone equal. You know, when they're talking about this, you know, if you're all drinking the same beer or coming together to talk about it, you're not really worried about, you know, all those divisions that might, you know, exist between people. Everyone's sort of at the same level when they're sort of, yeah, chatting about the beers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's fantastic. Is it another canned craft beer? Sorry, canned conditioned. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. Again, so all of this is unfiltered, you know, unpasteurized and vegan friendly. So if you're lucky enough, you might get a bit of sediment in the bottom if you shake the can hard enough, depending on when it's done. Yeah, again, this is obviously not too hazy. It's sort of the West Coast style, so it tends to be sort of a little bit clearer than its sort of New England cousins across on the eastern seaboard. But again, that sort of clear colour gives you that sort of nice dry bitterness at the end, and you don't sort of get the lingering sort of haze that you might with another beer. But again, you know, this beer was designed that it'll work on cask as well, so that sort of 5% is the upper echelons of where you want to be. Anything over that, a lot of people on cask sort of turn their, you know, sort of don't really want to touch it. So for us, it's about making beers that we can release on the 3 formats. And again, this on cask is an absolute winner. It's a really great beer as well.
You really can tell. It's quite close to cask beer. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, especially this one, for example, isn't too heavily carbonated. So it makes it, not as gassy, and it's not overly lively. But again, it's sort of smooth. So yeah, it's a great. It's just, yeah, again, a great beer that works across the 3 formats, which is what we want to do. You know, we want to appeal to the craft beer drinker, you know, the young 20-year-old who's getting into their sort of juice bombs. But we also want to appeal to your more traditional drinkers who have grown up drinking sort of cask bitters and pale ales and bits and pieces. So hopefully we sort of bridge the gap, you know, of appeasing everyone with sort of modern twists, but at their heart, they're beers that, you know, you can drink with your dad or your son, you know, and actually both enjoy them and not be sort of debating whose beer to drink or saying that the other person's beer is crap or whatever it might be. So yeah, it's nice, you know, we make well-balanced, flavorful beers that hopefully everyone can get on board with.
Simon Cowgill and Dorking beers are banging. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Alex, is there many people since you moved into the well, let's start at the beginning. Yourself, what made you move into the brewing industry?
Yeah, I'll keep it a short story, but it's quite a long one. I went travelling probably 2.5 years ago now. I was living in London beforehand, and that's where I sort of really got into my craft beers. I was lucky enough to live in Hackney, and I was like a 10-15 minute cycle away from the likes of 5 Points and Howling Hops and Crate Brewery and all these fantastic, and Beavertown before it was owned partly by Heineken, and all these obviously great breweries. That really got me into sort of craft in the London scene.
Yeah.
I always said to myself, I'd love to give it a go. My background was in sales anyway. I thought, if I'm going to sell something, why not sell something that I'm, you know, truly passionate about? I went to South America, and unfortunately, I actually broke my leg quite badly. Like, yeah, really quite badly. Long story short, a lot of time to think about what I want to do and bits and pieces. And when I came back to the UK, I just said I've got nothing really to lose. I'm going to try and get into beer. I had a couple of mates moving to Bristol, where I've been living, and on my sort of travels and sort of searching for jobs, somehow a real shot in the dark came across Dorking Brewery, who were looking for someone to do some sales from 2 days a week from home, which in my situation on crutches was ideal.
Yeah.
So I bit their hand off. And from there, it's just sort of increased. I started doing 2 days a week, just doing sales on Monday and Tuesday. And then I did a Wednesday, and then I added a Thursday, and then I added a Friday, and just sort of got myself really into it. I found the team was fantastic, and as an industry, it's probably one of the most friendly industries. Everyone's sort of willing to talk to you, and when you meet up with people and sort of speak about different bits and pieces, it's really great. So I sort of came into craft beer or sort of selling beer. Took a bit of the road, wasn't the smoothest, but now that I'm here, I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't change it. I don't think for the world.
Brilliant. We're going to go back to it because I got a follow-on question. It was my first question, but I wanted to go back to the beginning. Joe Biden's dentures, though, was putting a $2 super chat saying pineapple on pizza. Just a yes or a no?
Pineapple is a no for me. It's a no on pizza. I've got to be careful. My girlfriend's next door, and she's a yes, but I'm absolutely
absolutely no fruit on pizza.
Not a thing. No.
Not for me. Thanks, Joe Biden, for that. So my follow-on question after it was my first question, actually, and then I realized I should have asked you how you got into it at the very beginning. But so you got into beer, you start working for a brewery. Who is the one of the kind of closest people in your life, or friends or family, who you've managed to sway into the world of beer since you've been involved in beer?
I've had a few victories, actually. People get very annoyed with me because every time I go out, I sort of judge a pub on its beer content and try and get people drinking good, different beers. For me, a real winner was my dad, who I have always, when I first started drinking real ales, I was drinking with him, but the real ales I was drinking and he was drinking, I would say aren't of the highest caliber. He would drink beer just, I guess, as a refreshment or whatever, but he wasn't too fussed about what it was. And then the real winner was me trying a few different beers and sort of craft beers and bits and pieces. And then when I'd come home from university or when I lived in London and come home, I'd bring a few cans of different bits and pieces. And the first few times he was very hesitant about trying these hazy, pale ales. So, if it's not clear in a pint glass, he didn't want to touch it. And I think a lot of people maybe have that mentality. But slowly, I sort of chipped away at him and was like, try this, try that. And now he absolutely loves it. He's never drunk like ale on a keg before in a pint glass. It's always cask and some dodgy cans from the supermarket. But actually now, when we go out together and go to a pub, I can see him sort of doing this up and down the bar. And I'll catch him sort of scoping who it is, and he'll be like, "Oh, this person, are they any good?" Or actually, I'll try a bit of this. So to win my dad, who's an old school drinker, over to the sort of newer way of drinking and trying these new flavors was a real winner. So for me, that was like a massive victory because he's a bit stubborn sometimes. So to see him actually voluntarily ordering a pint of a pale ale on keg in the pub without me being there and stuff, I thought that was a big victory.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And pardon me, I'm going to follow that question on to my viewers. The viewers, comment, everybody. Is there somebody close to you, be it friend or family, who you've managed to get over into drinking really good beer, decent beer? Because Alex, I'm the same as you. I'm exactly the same as you. My dad now drinks all of these kind of hazy kind of New England IPAs, and he absolutely loves it. But it was my dad was more of a Siri's gone nuts. My phone's over there and Siri activated. It's probably going to activate again. But no, my dad was more of a Tetley's drinker, like John Smith, Tetley's, that sort of thing. And it was always price, always like how cheap can I buy a pint in Wetherspoons?
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
had to like break that mentality of what I told him, because I know he's a bit of a he likes to stay healthy. So how I managed to angle it was, these beers are full of chemicals. These beers are not malts and hops, and it's all chemical. Really, really. And I said, and I would go along. Yeah, in Germany, you got the Reinheitsgebot, where it's the law they have to use just 4 ingredients: hops, malt, water, and yeast. And in the UK, they can put whatever they like in the beer, and they don't even have to put any ingredients on the side of the can. You do not have to put ingredients on the side of the can or bottle or keg or cask with these different beers. So that's how I broke it to him. I said, look, these beers there's not much malt, there's not much of anything that's really left the beer when it comes to a John Smith's.
No, exactly.
And that's how I got him. I went down the health road with him.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, by hook or by crook, you can usually get them going, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to get some of these comments as well while I'm here. Managed to drag a few lager boys to the light. Steve Clay, there we are. Got a few lager boys to the light. Yeah, brilliant. Beard is one of your 5 a day. It certainly is. It certainly is. So Joe Biden's dentist in America said I've converted quite a few macro lager drinkers into craft beer lovers.
Good man.
It's one of the reasons, again, why we started the channel to begin with. It was a learning curve for me, and then quite quickly it was, this is the way to go. I need to tell everybody about this, because you do as a craft beer drinker. We're almost like evangelists, isn't we? We're always like very early Christians,
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of my mates hate going to the pub with me because they know I'm going to ruin it for them. Yeah, there's a lot of times I'll be like, oh, we're going to this pub, and I'll have a look at it and be like, oh, is there, can we go somewhere else maybe? Or every time I go into a pub, there'll be a few of us that like our craft beers, and we'll sit there and talk for an hour about the pints that we're drinking and the different breweries, and the other half of the table is sat there just sort of, not really caring. And I think I can spoil anyone's visit to the pub if they sit with me for long enough and I start talking them through the science of what it all is. I can turn anyone off their beer, I think. Brilliant,
fantastic. This is absolutely flying down. It's doing really well. I'm enjoying it. Again, it's available at beersofeurope.co.uk.
Yeah.
So how did you get to know the guys at Beers of Europe? That's a good question for you.
Yeah, it is. I'd always, actually, this is actually a very good true story. Because of the way that I work and I use social media quite a lot, the way Facebook listens to you and your conversations to give you sponsored adverts sometimes, because I say beer about 5,000 times a day. I'm talking to a pub, the team, wholesale distribution, production. I say it a lot. So actually, a lot of my leads that I speak to about things, if I just scroll through my Facebook in the morning, I can go through about 10 adverts for beer. And I'd heard of Beers of Europe before, because I know they were sort of specialities of Belgian and German bits and pieces. And then again, I was refreshed by it because of a Facebook advert. So that's one benefit of being listened to all the time by these people, is that they actually suggest leads for me, which is quite nice. And then, I think I just either shot off an email or I looked at their website, saw they were doing some really interesting stuff with sort of craft breweries. I saw they obviously fitted our sort of mold of not sort of going for the massive hazy juice bombs that some retailers specialize in, which is absolutely great if you're into those sort of things. But the Beers of Europe lineup is fantastic because they've got something for everyone from different countries. They do, a mixture of sort of traditional-ish with like real ale, modern, and actually as a retailer, they really fit what we're trying to do, which is classic sort of styles but with a modern twist and in these new formats. So, and I got talking to Matthew, who I think tuning in or has tuned in. Yeah, we sort of chatted about beer and stuff, and yeah, being an Arsenal fan and he's a Chelsea man, we ended up sort of having a bit of banter over that. We sent them up some samples, which they really liked, and they went down well, and then we sort of said, yeah, let's make this happen. So yeah, it's gone from there. So yeah, anything we can do to support people that buy and sell good beer, you know, we're always open to do anything, whether it's with yourself or other retailers or anyone that is passionate about what they're selling, what they're doing. We're always happy to help out.
Writer. After graduating from the Brit School in 2006,
I got these smart speakers all over the house.
The horn, yeah.
The Brit Awards Critics' Choice Award and won the.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
It's telling me all about Adele.
Oh, I see. Yeah. But yeah, and obviously it's great now we can do these sort of marketing things. It wasn't something that we were sort of done before, but you know, when they said that we'll help push you help push us and that sort of thing. Yeah, and they seem to really champion good beer in all its formats. So yeah, they're a great company to sort of be working with.
Well, what I like, of course, for myself, we get 10 beers a month from Beers of Europe, and I kind of hit the website beginning of the month, and they got all the countries down the side of the website, so you can go like Belgium, Germany. So it was great, you know. It is great. It is great. We kind of like hit the different countries. Go right, okay. We'll have 2 beers this month from Belgium. We'll have 2 from Germany. We'll have a couple from Canada. Whatever, Finland and Sweden and Norway. A lot of my connections where I've travelled and brewed collaborations is been from beers that have come from Beers of Europe. So a brewer would have watched the video in Norway and gone, right, come on, we've seen your video. I've searched for Norwegian craft beer on YouTube. We found you, and do you want to come over and brew a beer with us? And so a lot of that has meant that not only am I ordering beers from Beers of Europe, but I get to travel Europe drinking great beer. It's wonderful. It really is.
Sounds like the dream. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, brilliant. So where are we? Are we how are you doing with the beer?
Not too bad.
When Simon ate surströmming, that was the best. That was in Norway. That's a video you must watch.
Yeah, definitely. I'll check it out for sure.
Have you heard of surströmming?
I haven't heard of those guys before, if I'm completely honest. But I know at the moment the sort of Norwegian and Swedish scene seems to really be exploding. The different beers that.
I'm going to stop you there. Exploding is the one. So.
Oh right, sorry. Yeah, no, they seem to be doing really exciting stuff. And it's just the few breweries I have had, you know, Lervik obviously the big one that everyone knows, but everything that seems to be shipped over in your sort of indie bottle shops and stuff from sort of Norway and Sweden. I don't think I've had a bad beer from those 2 countries as of yet, really. They do some really interesting styles and stuff. So yeah, that must have been a fantastic trip and a great experience.
The surströmming. So I went to Norway. It's a can of herring, but what they do, they let the herring rot a little bit, and they put it in the can and seal it, and then the herrings carry on rotting, fermenting in the can, and there's that much gas from the fermentation, the rotting of the herring, that the can starts to expand. It starts to expand. You're not allowed to take these cans on aeroplanes or whatever. So it's a Swedish, slightly Danish, Norwegian kind of tradition from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago that they would eat this surströmming. So whilst I was there, of course, they got me to try the surströmming. So you must watch that video. You must watch that video. It's one of the funniest videos I've ever produced on YouTube. You can imagine with a swollen can, putting a can opener into the can. It kind of hissed and sprayed rotten fish.
It smells fantastic.
It's classified as the smelliest food in the world.
Yeah, I think I've seen it on some like travel programs and stuff. But
yeah.
Did you eat some?
No. No, I as soon as the air filled, and we did it outside. As soon as the air filled with this, it made everybody. There was 12 of us. We'd had a bit of a party, having a few beers, barbecue. As soon as this can opened, all 12 of us, literally, your first reaction, you just start being sick, like, you know, all over the place. So it's just 12 guys, just and ladies, just. It's the impulse just makes you bath all over the place. So that's a video. I'll have to send it to you, Alex, to
ping it across. Yeah,
have a watch. It's quite probably my funniest. A lot of people commenting saying a classic video. One of my better videos, that one. We got the Beer Hooligan in tonight. How are you doing, Simon? Have you heard of the Beer Hooligan? Another YouTuber, Alex?
Yeah, I think I've seen bits and pieces across socials and stuff like that. Yeah. I think I've heard the name.
So Alex from Dorking Brewery, Beer Hooligans in tonight. Simon, if the missus said it's me or the ale, would you pay for the taxi? Says Michael. Yeah, we'll pay for the taxi. We'll pay for the taxi. So we got 155 people tuned in tonight. Can we do 230 likes? Hit the like button. Get 230 likes in. I'm really enjoying this. Alex. It's really good. Really good. We got some really I'm looking forward. Is this a you've called it a complex, dark, smooth. Is it a dark then, or is it a porter or a stout? This
yeah, it's a sort of classic London porter. So that is a proper. Again, it's an easy drinker at 4.5, but it's just a sort of straight up sort of London porter style that we do that one. Yeah, again, it goes really well on cask and in can as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to, if it's okay with you, Alex, if you could keep an eye on the stream for a minute and keep an eye on the comments. I'm going to dash to the toilet and come back. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, and then I might just switch and we can tag if that's okay. And then I might, then you can hold the fort and I'll go after that. We'll do a switcheroo. Lovely.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice one. Catch you in a bit. Cheers. I'll have a quick look and see if I can do the comment section for Simon while he's away. Let's have a look and see who's saying what. Yeah, Beers of Europe, good to see you again. New beers coming in. Very exciting. Who else have we got here? Carl Smythe. What's your favourite kebab, Alex? Very dangerous. Back in the day, I did used to go for like a large doner, like chips and salad. Bit naughty, but now I'm a vegetarian. Not really on the cards. Who else have we got in here? Yeah, the Beer Hooligan. Yeah, Beer Hooligan. If you are in the Dorking area, give us a shout or a call ahead and we can host you. For sure, we can do you a bit of a tasting and show you how we do things and what we produce. We'd love to host you. Always open to that, for sure. And then Paul again. Alex, what's your favourite cheese? A really tough one. Do you know what? I'd probably go for a really sort of straight up, really strong cheddar that takes the roof of your mouth off, I think. Good for all occasions and bits and pieces. So, yeah. Other ones are a bit niche, but you can't go wrong with a bit of that on toast. Lovely.
Brilliant. Okay.
Right.
We'll
I'm going to do a quick tag of you. That's okay. I'll let you hold the fort, and then we'll be back in 30 seconds.
No worries. Okay. Where are we? We got 160 people tuned in tonight. 160 of you. Can we do 250 likes? Come on, hit the like button down below. Come on, let's grow this stream. 250 likes. Now, I want to address something while I'm here. I'm going to address it. Now, I've noticed it in some of the comments here tonight, and I noticed it in Friday's live stream. Now, I've got to ask you a question. I think, personally, this was a test. I've not done too much. Can we like the video? Can we like the video? Can we like the video? I've not done too much of that tonight. And I think the result of that, the result of me not asking and pushing to grow the live stream, is that we have 166 people tuned in. Now, when I actively push and try and create a lot of people to tune in, it does, the live streams do really well. But I just noticed on the last live stream, there was just a little bit of negativity about me trying to push the live stream. And I want to know your views on this in the comments box. Are you guys, exactly, Joe Biden's dentures, I'm with you there, but are you guys, I think it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun to see how many likes we can draw in on a night. Let us know in the comments box what you think of this very subject. It was a test tonight to see how things would go if I didn't push too hard. But nice to have you back, Alex. Shall we move on to the stout?
Yes. Yeah. Good idea. Yeah. So I'll just put that out there for anyone who's drinking along or who's interested and wants to pick it up. Obviously, we're coming into sort of dark beer territory now with winter. So this is our porter that we do, Black Noise. It's 4.5%. It's sort of a traditional London porter here. Again, from the sort of tagline, you can see here, complex, dark and smooth. And we've gone for like a smoky London skyline for the artwork in this one, which I think works really nicely, just using black and white grains across the can. Again, available on the Beers of Europe website in sort of, individuals of mixed it. And this is one of our sort of most popular beers, actually. I think this is our second or third best rated beer on Untapped. And it's really exciting because this goes really well on cask. And in May, it was the first time we put it into can. So hopefully people will enjoy it in this sort of format at home if they can't get it on a cask pump in their local.
Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to crack mine open.
Quite lively. Yeah, it's a bit lively, this one.
Yeah, I had I felt it on the back of my hand as I opened the
Yeah, it's got a little bit to it. It does kick a bit. You will get a bit of a head. It will calm down. And it does take a little bit of time to settle. So it does give you a bit, it does kick a bit. But hopefully she will calm down.
Yep. Just giving a really, really gentle pour on this.
Yeah, I'm doing exactly the same. Slowly, this one.
So just while I got a full glass of beer, I'm just going to. I got a few comments in from what I was just talking about just now.
Yeah,
And at this stage, I want to thank you all so much for your support. Absolutely fantastic. Joe Biden, Beer Hooligan, all of you. Alan, thank you very much for the support on the channel. It was probably, and as suspected, I think it was one person account flipping who had a big, massive conversation with themselves, and they were just changing the accounts over and just replying to themselves. I'll tell you, Alex, because of course you're here. So the theme of the evenings, especially on a Friday night, is that we do this kind of like, as soon as we go live, we see how quickly we can hit 100 likes, and the record is like 2 minutes. The record is 2 minutes to hit 100 likes, and of course that in that first 2 minutes to hit 100 likes, that sets the precedent then for the rest of the evening, and it kind of like snowballs and rolls. But I noticed it was a Saturday afternoon. I looked back at one of the live streams, and somebody had a massive conversation with themselves all the way through this swapping kind of accounts, saying how bad it is to ask for likes and so forth. But I've asked my real live followers tonight, because it was only Friday that this happened, what they think of the whole situation, and they're all saying basically, if you don't push something, nobody will. And that's the thing with life, isn't it, Alex? If you don't push yourself, if you don't kind of go over there and kind of, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, you have to, don't you? I mean, it's your job as a salesman with Dorking Brewery to push, and it's your job.
Well, I think it's like anything in life. If you don't ask, you don't get. So you can't expect it just to happen for yourself. So whether it's sales, live stream, or anything, any opportunity or something to sort of grow, you have to say, look, this is what needs to happen for it to happen. And most of the time when you ask someone to do it, if it's no sweat off their back, they'll do it, and it's not the end of the world. So there's no harm in asking. The worst they can do is say no, and that's where you were at the start. So yeah, I don't see any issue with it.
Amazing. That is a really good contribution, as Alex, from your side. That is terrific.
All right. Hopefully this back noise will calm down a little bit now, but it is a little bit lively. I'm not sure if there's a particular reason for this one, but hopefully we can drink through it in a second or two, and it will calm down a bit. We will.
I've had so many stouts. The Beer Hooligan just saying there, if you don't ask, you don't get. Absolutely right. I think, I've had a few stouts like this in the time, but I find that when you do get to the liquid through the head, the liquid is genuinely super smooth.
Yeah.
Let's push through. I think I'm going to have a dirty.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for it. We'll get to the liquid first, then you can top it up. Why not? The benefit of the larger head, though, you will get a nice aroma. So you should get sort of very soft, sort of coffee and chocolate notes. I know that's the same for a lot of porters, but this one I think is particularly sort of palatable. None of them are punchy or over the top. You just get a sort of soft burntness with a nice sort of touch of sort of like cappuccino and chocolate in there. For me, anyway, this is one of our best beers, I think.
Yeah. Thank you very much. £2.99. Enjoying the stream. Cheers all. Thank you very much, Dominic, for the super chat. I'm getting quite. There's that smoothness that I talked about earlier. It's definitely a really kind of smooth, because once you pour the beer out and all the carbonation makes its way into the head very quickly, you're genuinely left with a very smooth liquid, which we have here. It's quite vinous. it's quite, for me, like dark fruits, plum and prune. And do you do a lot of dry hopping with this beer? Do you put a lot of kind of hops in the dry
Not
hop?
usually. Interesting. For us, this one's more about the malt base. So this is the beer that obviously we've got the most variety and amount of malts in. And we've actually only got 2 hops in this, which is the Bramling, which is a classic, a Bramling Cross. It's actually only a single hop beer. So this is really nice in the fact that it is predominantly sort of British hops. Obviously, there's a few sort of German malts in there, bits and pieces, but this is obviously for us about keeping it simple. I know a lot of porters tend to sort of be maybe higher ABV and a bit more complex, and they sort of go down the sort of smokiness, or they really push the coffee notes or the chocolate. We wanted something that you could have on cask and maybe have more than 1 or 2 pints of, because a lot of stout porters tend to be sort of 5, 6, 7. Obviously, it's going into Baltics and Indies, Imperial porters, pieces. And those are all really great beers, but normally you can only have 1 can of it, a Brave or 2, or you might have 1 pint of it in a pub. But for us, we wanted to produce something of 4.5, where if you drink 4 or 5 of them in one night, 1, it doesn't become sickly. 2, you don't get bored with it, because I think the complexity is there in terms of flavour. And again, you can just sort of keep drinking it, and it's not too rich or sort of treacly and sort of toffee-like that a lot of them can be.
Do you find that how many batches of this have you brewed? The Black Noise, is this the first batch of it? Is it a fairly new beer?
It actually is, yeah, because obviously it's a seasonal beer and it's obviously a special. We don't tend to brew the stout all year round, just because in July it's 30 degrees outside. No one wants to drink a porter on cask. So this is actually the first brew that we did, and we did can. So maybe, I'm not sure, the levels are just ever so slightly off. It doesn't affect the flavour or anything like that, but it might just be the way that it's being canned for the first time. We plan to do another dark run very soon. But I mean, it gives you a bit of head, but I think the flavours aren't affected in any way, shape, or form. We just have to work a little bit harder for the beer.
It's lovely. I think it's probably a batch thing. The next time your brewer brews this batch, it'll probably turn out to be a little less lively. But again, that's the beauty of real ale and craft beer. That's the beauty of it. It's not brewed by some you drive past some of these breweries, only the great big massive ones, and it could be a cheese factory, it could be a processing plant of some kind.
Some of the time it's not even a person brewing it. You can press a button on a machine and it produces it where it might be. So
exactly.
Anything, if that's your setup, it's very difficult to an extent to call that sort of craft beer if it's all a pre-programmed machine where you press pale ale and it does it for you. Obviously, then there's no room for human error, but also it makes your beers, I don't know. This one, obviously, you can tell, we're a young brewery, we're trying. It's a little bit lively, but it's absolutely fine and palatable.
It is, and I totally agree. It's very fine. It's very palatable. It's a batch thing. The next batch, you guys will do something slightly different.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's still a good beer. It's not undrinkable. I got a super chat here by Super Fat Base. Sometimes people need reminding to hit the like. Thank you very much for your support with the £5 super chat with that one. I totally agree. But we will move on from that subject now. I don't want it to dominate proceedings tonight. I really, I've said my piece. I just wanted to gauge opinion. It looks like it was one person having a massive conversation with themselves, account flipping and that sort of weird stuff. It must have taken them hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to it, it's a nice porter. Do you know the history of the London porter, Alex?
Yeah, well, this was sort of the reason why we sort of did it with the can design of London. Obviously, my understanding, and I will happily be proved wrong in sort of for a simpleton like me, is that obviously the water in London was much harder, which sort of led to the production of much darker beers in the London area on like sort of 17th and 18th century.
Yep.
And obviously the London Docklands were sort of the world capital for goods coming in and out of London and the UK and England and bits and pieces. And to stay hydrated and refreshed, they had a lot of people running up and down the docks shipping goods. Who were called porters. And those guys would drink this sort of dark beer to refresh themselves and hydrate, because beer is better than water because it won't kill you in 18th century England.
And nourishment as well, yeah.
Exactly, calories, and obviously because you boil it in order to brew it, you kill off all the bacteria. So actually, it's very safer than drinking it by tap water or whatever they had back then. So that became sort of porter was synonymous with those men, women, or whatever, lugging stuff and goods up and down the East End docks. And I think that's where you get the term porter from. So I'll be happily proven wrong if you've got anything to add to that, or if I've made a bit of a mistake there. But that's where we think we got it from.
We got Rooney over there in Norway saying we brew lots of real ales. We've had lots of problems with overcarbonating ourselves, but now we have control over the problem. I mean, and that's a brewer openly accepting that it's not the easiest thing to do to brew real ale on a consistent basis. And that's fine. I mean, that's fine, because it's the industry we're in. It's live beer. It's yeast,
exactly.
Live. It's, there's different aspects. It could be something over there, or it could be something over there. But it's live stuff. It's not like we're mass producing milking cows. It's a small scale, hands-on industry that we all work in with live yeast.
And I think as well, like you say there, because it's human error can cause an issue. Sometimes you can actually make a beer better with those mistakes. So in this example, we've got a slight bit of overcarbonation, but the beer is fine. On the next brew or on another beer, someone might do something they shouldn't have done, and they actually go, "Oh, blimey, that's actually added an extra flavour, a complexity, an aroma," or we over-hopped it this time by mistake. That actually worked out really well. I think that's what the great joy of it, because it's a real product and it's always changing. It's really nice that you fact that for every mistake you can make, you can also make a really good mistake, and then actually be like, well, we created this new beer somehow. And I know a lot of breweries tell stories about brews that have gone wrong, and then they're like, oh, actually, we created a sour beer now because our pale ale got infected, and then we tried it, and actually we thought it's not that bad. We can probably work with it, and obviously that's how sour beers are produced. And so there's other varieties, or we put a different hop in it than we should have done, and now we've created a new pale ale. Fantastic.
Aidan O'Connor, thank you very much for the €5. Pardon me, super chat. Really appreciate that. Lots of support tonight. Lots of fantastic. Oh, Rooney's back from Norway. And it's the translation, so it might come across. And he's probably had a couple of beers knowing Rooney. And we'll only brew live ale, I think, is the best flavour. So using live yeast, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Alan Mead has come in saying super night. It's been good. What's your where are we now? 2 hours and 5 minutes into this live feed, Alex. How are you from somebody who's kind of new to this? How is it for I've always wanted to ask this question. How is it how do you see this whole thing we're doing over here? Do you think it's something which we can build on? Is it interesting? Is it, how is it?
Yeah, I think it's for me. Obviously, I came in completely sort of green, not really knowing what to expect. So I'll probably look back at this and see myself being quite standoffish. And then as the beers flow and you sort of get a bit more comfortable with the environment, but also more comfortable with what it is you're trying to do, and obviously bits and pieces. I think it's really positive. I think it's really nice when people who have a niche interest, which I still think craft beer is to an extent. We think there's lots of us, but actually, when you put it out to millions in the country, that's not the case. It's really nice to have sort of a virtual sort of club where people from around the world can come together over a common interest, which is really nice. So if you live in a small town or village where you're the only person that likes really great beer and craft cans and stuff, you're not sort of held back by the fact that no one wants to go to the pub with you and drink really good beers. You've got an outlet for your hobby, which, like anything, I think is really positive. And it seems that you've created a really good sort of community space here. Like, you seem to know, like you said, some of the names that are in this comment feed. I've seen a few of them pop up again and again with nice stuff. So, it seems like a really warm and inviting place. And like you said, you get a few haters, but I think that comes with being on the internet. Unfortunately, there's always going to be someone with an agenda or someone who's just passive aggressive or just not nice. But unfortunately, that's life. There's always going to be people like that. But it seems like a really good space. Obviously, you're championing good beer, and hopefully people can come away from this, talk with us and know a bit more about Dorking Brewery and our beers, but just a bit more about the sort of craft scene in general. I think all around it's been a really positive experience for me, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Oh, look at this. Paul Goggin, who has been a massive regular tonight, has just put in a £5 super chat. Got a text on Sunday. The beer will be here Wednesday. Then today I got a text. The beer will be here today before 6. The delivery guy, a class act. He was a guitarist. So Paul Goggin thought the beers that he was going to be drinking tonight were going to be a day late. And they, in fact, they turned up, and he's been able to have a drink along with us tonight, which is really cool.
Well, cheers, Paul. See you, so nice one.
Really cool that he's got his beers in time for the drink along. Fabulous. Anyone else? You're just reading some of the comments. I'm enjoying this. It's got, for one thing, it's got fantastic lacing. Great lacing on it. But going back to your comment about we all think this industry is quite big. When I go to like huge cities like London, and you walk down the streets of Oxford Street, the big, the main streets and so forth, you could ask 90, 100 people about beer, and they wouldn't have any kind of concept about it at all. They wouldn't have any answer at all about what we're talking about tonight. But then you take that and you boil it down to, have you been to the Great British Beer Festival?
I have indeed.
Yeah.
Only been the one, 2016, but it was a great day out.
But that's like a massive hall in London, but it's really busy. But that's the whole UK. That's the whole UK concentrated into one kind of like market hall. So that's really what we're dealing with. That's what we're trying to spread our message. And Yes, it's. I mean, it's quite a difficult thing to do, isn't it? In terms of spreading the word, but we do what we do. At least we both got our fathers involved in drinking beer.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you're part of any group, you have these sort of blinkers on that you think everyone is of the same opinion as you, and especially when you're in these sort of forums, everyone is a craft beer head. You think the world drinks craft beer, but actually, when you look at it, and you say you go to cities or anywhere else, for every fantastic tap room or pub that you've got serving really good quality real ale or really awesome taps, you also have 20 pubs that are just serving mainstream generic lagers and mass-produced watery pints of bitter that aren't so great. So yeah, we are a drop in the ocean, I think, of the beer drinking world in terms of volume. But I do think it's something that is growing at quite a speed, which is quite nice. And you know, even in the few years that I've been drinking real ale, my dad's come over, a few friends as well, and just one by one, you can just sort of pick people off. And actually,
Yeah.
my saying is, there's a beer out there for everyone.
For everyone, yeah.
Tried 10 pints of different IPA and said, I don't like any of these, they're all horrible. But I reckon if I give them a sour, or there'll be something out there that I know will work. But yeah, it's one of those where you've got to sort of keep trying until you find their niche. It might be pales, it might be IPAs, it might be Belgian styles, it might be American juice bombs, but eventually someone will find their beer or their niche that they think, actually, I can get involved with this.
Brilliant. We got a £5 super chat from Simon Wood saying apologies, had to speak to the girlfriend in the Philippines. Did the Gaelic Stout win? Well, we'll wait and see, Simon Wood. We're waiting to see what Alex is going to speak to his boss. We're definitely going to do a collaboration. It will definitely happen.
The collab's been signed off, so that's going to be happening. And Beers of Europe said they'll host the launch of their new tap room. So
yeah,
if restrictions are lifted, we'll all go up, have a few beers in their new mega awesome restaurant and tap room, which is really good. So anyone that doesn't know, have a follow on Beers of Europe's Instagram page and look at they're creating. It's like a really exciting big site for beer drinkers up in East Anglia. So if we get this going, which I think, well, we are going to get it going, we'll do some sort of beer brew, and then we'll get it up there in cask, keg, and or can, and it'll be a fantastic launch event all round for the three parties.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be, and not too far from the beer who are going to be able to come and join us. But I mean, the beer hooligan, he's slightly controversial, but I like it. I like slightly controversial. I always have, and he's put, I think breweries should stop brewing 3.6% ABV IPAs, as they are not proper IPAs. I think we both agree with that.
I agree with that. I think if you want to produce an IPA flavored beer, that ABV, you need to be clear. I think a lot of breweries now, I think the word IPA is on trend. So if you put it on a can or on a pint or a pump badge or wherever it might be, you think it will sell really well. So everyone expects sort of juicy, hazy, all this sort of thing. It's quite a trendy word. So I agree with him. I think you need to call it a session pale or a session IPA or a micro pale. It does a bit of disjustice because a traditional, IPA should be 5, 6, 7, 8% if you really boil it down to. But I think again, it's one of those where it's an easy trend or tag word to put on your beer, and then everyone thinks, oh, it's an IPA. I like IPAs. I can drink this.
Do you know the history as to why IPAs dropped down to so low in terms of ABV?
I don't. I mean, I know that they obviously were. I know the apparent first history why they were brewed so high to make the distance apparently to India. Whether that's true or not, one of those folk stories is true. It might be one of those that is, a fishwife's tale, whatever you want to say, until it came down. But I know historically, when they've been rediscovered in America, obviously they were sort of 7.5, 8% that were brewed. But yeah, I'd love to hear why they come back down. Probably because the English can't handle their beers. But yeah.
So I had a bit of a moan. Just the other day, I reviewed a Torp, the off the Krups subcompact of Stone IPA, and it's 6.9% ABV. It's from California, and it's been 6.9% ABV forever. They have not messed about with the ABV at all. I'll get back to that story in a moment, but the real reason as to why IPAs went from 6% all the way down to 3.4% ABV was to do with World War One and World War Two. The IPAs were always quite strong. They were always 6%. They were always a decent, strong beer. But what happened was everybody had ration books, and everything was rationed. Everything was rationed. The bakeries needed the malts that we needed to brew our beer. It all had to be kind of like spread everywhere. So the only thing the brewers could do from their 6% IPAs was to lower and lower and lower and lower until they got to like the regional breweries. Up until 10 years ago, they were brewing IPAs at 3.4, 3.6.
Yeah.
And it stuck. It stuck. It never went back to 6% ABV until, of course, the last 15, 20 years. So that was the real reason, was rationing. Rationing completely destroyed the IPA, not only in the UK, but probably Europe.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. I knew the history, but yeah, I think it's just an on-trend word now as well, isn't it? I think everyone that's into craft beer, everyone is jumping on the sort of IPA bandwagon. I think for breweries, if they put IPA on it, they think maybe it will appeal to a wider audience, maybe. Unfortunately,
Yeah, just reading some of the comments.
Everyone here knows their facts, don't they, and stuff. It's quite a good community. It's like a live feed Wikipedia of sort of beer bits and pieces.
So the beer hooligan says, my grandfather told me he drank best bitters during the war because they never lowered the ABV of them. That's a very, very nice comment there. I got one from Jack Walton. Slightly awkward comment, but I'm going to read it anyway. Absolutely drunk as a skunk tonight, Si. Have been for the last 12 days, actually. Do you consider yourself to have a drink problem like me? Jack, no, I come on this live stream tonight. My last beer was Sunday. Evening. So I try and find, and this is a good question for Alex, really. Working in the beer industry, do you find you choose your days where you go, right, enough's enough, I need a couple of days, or I need a day, no beer, water, coffee, tea, whatever. Do you find it can be very busy in the beer industry, and you choose your days to have a day off?
Definitely. I think when you work in the industry, you're sort of around it quite a lot, and it can be quite easy. For me, I'm fairly health conscious to an extent. I like to think of myself. For me, beer is a treat and a luxury, whether I work in it or not. So personally, I don't have like massive rules, or I don't judge myself. If I do let myself go here and there, I work out, I eat well. But like yourself, I love the social side that comes with beer, and I think sometimes, even having one with a couple of friends is fantastic to sort of bond and just chat about that, wherever it might be. Recently, I've just tried to do like a Monday to Thursday thing where I'll just say, like during the week, midweek, I'm just not going to drink beer, and I'll enjoy my beers on a Friday, Saturday, maybe one on Sunday with a football game or rugby or whatever it might be. However, I think the difficulty is when you try and be binary with it and you say that I'm not going to drink Monday and Thursday. If you have one, then it's all gone wrong and I've failed. I have a drinking problem and all this sort of thing. I think for me, as long as I set manageable goals of I'm going to ease up, or if I like tonight, if I had a few beers tonight. When it comes to Friday, I might only have one or two as opposed to the 4 or 5 that I would have. And for me, it's about picking your battles and shifting it, and it's going to be different for everyone. Some people will have a complete blowout where they want to have 7 or 8 beers in a night and just cut a bit loose and enjoy themselves. Absolutely fine. Some people like to have 1 beer a day at the end of the work day. It's been hard. Again, absolutely fine. I don't think there's any sort of set rules, and obviously in the industry it's very easy to put them away, but I think a little bit of self-discipline goes a long way, and if you do crack once or twice, don't hold yourself to a ridiculous standard, but obviously if you realise that you are doing it quite a lot, then you need to acknowledge that and do whatever you need to do to sort of get through that.
Absolutely. I suppose for me, as a beer reviewer, it's been an odd year. It's been a really odd year because Tuesdays and Fridays, they used to be my reviewing days. So they were my days where I would review beer, and I'd have the odd day off. I'd have the chance to have the odd week off. But this year has been exceptional. This year has been incredible, and I've kind of dedicated my time to the people out there on YouTube. And the problem I have then, because they were the 2 days that I was kind of reviewing beer, the Tuesday and the Friday, I'm having to review beers maybe on a Monday or a Wednesday when I wasn't reviewing beer before. So I don't think it's caused long-term kind of it's like the Simpsons episode where you got the fish with 2 heads, It's not caused any. I think 2021 will be a very, very different year to 2020. And I think normality will probably resume. That's probably the best way for me to put it, if you like.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people, I don't know whether it's the same for everyone or whether the situation, as you say, has made people think that they're drinking more because of where we are now or less. But what I also think is that when you're in your own home and you put away, say, 6 or 7 cans in a night, you're much more conscious of it than when you go to a pub and put away 6 or 7 pints.
Yeah.
Because there's that disconnect between where you are and you can't see it the next morning and what you've done. When you have a fridge full of beer and then in the morning it's half gone, you're like, oh, that's a lot of beer I've drunk. However, if you've gone out for, on a night with your mates or whatever and put 50 quid into a pub or to a few bars and gone out for a whole night or a weekend in London, and then you're there like, oh, I think I've drunk quite a lot. I think it's much easier to see or think that you've done that in your own home when you can see what's there, and because you're in your living room, you're like, oh, I'm at home, I think I've drunk quite a lot. But actually, I feel like a lot of people on the night on the town will just blow through beers, but there's no tomorrow, and not really think about it. I think people now are maybe a bit more conscious about what they're drunk, potentially.
It's funny though, because I've got one. I'm reading all the comments here, and I got another one here from the beer hooligan, and he's saying, I think beer should be treated the same in the UK as it is in Belgium and Germany, as a source of liquid bread, not as a product in the UK that is just something that causes thuggery and mayhem. And I kind of get that. Of course I do. I think for me, if I can talk honestly and openly, I think for me it's the 11 years. I think that's where, I'm not going to call it a problem, but the 11 years of of reviewing beer as I could probably have done with a few more breaks in. But and this year here, this 2020 year has really. I've been speaking to the guys at Beers Reviewed Up. I mean, of course, we're open. We're live here tonight. I can talk about it. I'm gonna get to January, and I'm gonna do the dry January for a second year in a row.
Yeah.
I really, and I of course I don't mind being honest. I thoroughly enjoyed dry January last year. At the end of it, I felt like a completely different person. I was re-energized, recharged. I was exercising more. I was ready to go. And then, of course, March the 20th happened, and it was like a massive woof. This is where we are. This is what we got to do.
I think it's like anything, though. I think when you've had too much of a good thing, you can become sick of it necessarily. So, you know, beers are great in the same analogy that chocolate is awesome. But if you eat chocolate every day and loads of it, you'll probably feel physically and mentally like, I don't really enjoy it. However, when you have a bit of a break, for example, like you said, when you had dry January, you do the exercise, you know, you feel better. And then when you eventually have a beer at the end of the week, at the end of the month, you're like, oh, I missed this. This is actually really nice. I'm drinking it because I like it and it tastes really good, not because I just want beer at the end of the month or whatever. You know, I think it's like anything, absence makes the heart grow fonder, as they say. It's a bit cheesy. But in order to appreciate what you have and what you had, you need to take a bit of time off and step back and be like, am I drinking it because I really like it, I like the community, and I love my live stream that you're doing, and I love working for a brewery, or am I doing it because it's a habit and I've got no control over it, and I'm just a slave to the idea of beer, it's my routine, this is me, like smoking sort of thing, just bang, bang, bang.
Exactly.
Or do I actually love craft beer, and that's why I'm drinking it?
Fantastic answer. Absolutely fantastic answer. I really enjoyed your Volvic review. I've not reviewed Volvic. I will do, though.
I'm going to run to the toilet really quickly. If you want to keep it in the comments for 30 seconds, I will return.
I mean, we got a comment here. Real talk. It is. Come with me if you want milk, says Alameda. But yeah, real talk. I am planning to take a month out in January. Just to reset, recharge the batteries. There's not a lot going on in January. Reset, recharge, come back stronger, better than ever. Hopefully, that's the plan. It's been I think it's been a funny year for everybody. It's been a funny year for everybody. I really think it has, and I'm not saying I'm overly looking forward to it, because I still love drinking beer. I'm not going to hide away from that fact. I still love drinking beer. I'm not overly looking forward to it, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to the fact that we can have a little bit of a break. And if the pubs are back open in January, lol. Yeah, that's it. The beer hooligans put it right there. Yeah, absolutely. Is it a workout plan you follow? Recommend? Jack Walton. So my routine is that I'm going to share this here with Alex. I walk 6 miles every day. My running days are gone. My running days are over. So I walk, for the last 3 years, I've been walking 6 miles a day. And I exercise Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays with dumbbells and stuff that I learned from the army. So I do a lot of stuff that I learned from the army in my own home. I'm not part of a gym. I do my own stuff. 9 o'clock every morning, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I walk 6 miles every single day, just to keep the beer off. Do you find that, Alex? Do you find that with?
Yeah, I've noticed as I'm getting a bit older. Unfortunately, I'm 29 now, but I'm about to hit 30, and when I was at uni, I used to drink like an absolute fish, and I used to still be absolutely, lean as a bean, and I didn't have to do anything, and I was absolutely fine. I've noticed in the last 2 or 3 years, that if I put pints away at the same rate and don't do anything, it's very, very quick and easy to accumulate a bit of a gut, and your jeans that you fit a few months ago, when you dig them out, they're a bit tight. So yeah, unfortunately, I used to be a 32 waist, and that was up until for ages. I had jeans when I was 18 that I could still wear at 27 or whatever, and it was awesome. I'd buy one set of clothes and be done. My 32-inch days are well behind me, and there's a lot of stuff actually. Now I've just moved, I've just gone through a load of clothes and gone, no, that goes in the pile to sell. That goes in the charity shop pile. So I think I've now got to accept that I'm a 34, even with the running and cycling, and I'm just a bit of a bigger guy. But yeah, like you say, it's like anything, you drink beer. I know I drink beer, so you have to do the workout to earn it. It's like anything in life. You've got to, and if you do a massive walk or a massive cycle, whatever it might be, it's nothing more satisfying at the end of it than enjoying a cold one. And everything in life is about balance. And if you just drink beer all day and don't do anything, you'll feel horrible and probably look horrible to an extent, not in a rude way. But like you say, if you know you're a beer drinker, I think you know that you need to do the other side of it, just to balance the scale, so that you can keep drinking beer and enjoying it and not feel and look horrible. For yourself, really, I think.
Lee Postlewaite saying I put on 3 stone in 5 months. I'm not sure if it's a UK thing, but they call it the COVID stone, don't they?
Yeah.
They call it the COVID stone.
Well, it's hard because they shut gyms and stuff and other things that people want to do to keep fit. So I don't really know what they expect, really.
It's for me. I've always been okay because I had training to exercise from the army, and my rugby training days. Being a Welshman, just rugby was just a thing. So I've been lucky enough to be able to regiment myself. But some people love the gym. Some people find it impossible to do any kind of exercise in the house. I understand that. I totally understand that, but try your best. That's my word. Try your best just to bang out.
Did you want to crack on to the next one? How are you getting on with your porter there? I'm not going to force you too hard, but I just thought I might see if these guys want to try either the red or the rising sun. I'll let you decide which one you want to go for.
Where are we? 25 to 10. Let's have a look. Should we go rising sun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in all honesty, I don't think I have the red ale. I don't think I have that.
That's okay. That's all right. We'll get it to at some point, definitely. Well, then we'll finish with this one then. So actually, this is quite exciting. This is our most recent can. This is our, Rising Sun. This is our 4% rye-based pale ale. And I know for some people, rye can be a little bit marmitey, so we'll see how you get on with this one. But for me, this is one of our best beers, especially on cask again. The can's lovely. The artwork's really nice on this one. It's a traditional sort of ancient Japanese flag. Bit of context, this beer was brewed originally for the Rugby World Cup last year over in Japan in 2019. We wanted to produce a beer that, obviously being in Japan, they were about 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours ahead from us. So we wanted a beer that you could crack into sort of at lunchtime when some of the games were on. And again, it fits the Dorking style of being sort of light, sessionable, and easy drinking. It's a 4%. It's just a well-balanced pale ale, but the rye, I think, gives a real nice sort of dry, better finish. So I'll pause to catch up with Simon quickly, and then I hope you'll get the same sort of flavours if you're drinking along or want to pick this up. So this one at the moment isn't available with Beers of Europe. However, we will probably have it with them in the coming weeks, I hope. So it will be. But it's one to keep an eye out for, definitely. Like I say, it's our rye-based pale, a real easy drinker, and again, very simple, Summit and Liberty and Mosaic. So, yeah, a few different bits there. Again, quite floral and fruity on the nose, I think.
Yeah, totally. Paul Goggins drinking your red ale.
Oh, he's got it. Oh, he's a lucky man. So yeah, I'm not going to rub it in your face, Simon, but I did pick up one of the last ones. So this is our Red India that we won't be trying tonight. However, it is available through Beers of Europe.
I've reviewed that. That's on the channel. That's on
the
channel.
Exactly. This is our sort of it's our red. It's one of our best-selling beers, but we actually sold out of it so quickly that we're actually rebrewing it this week to be canned before Christmas. So again, it'll be available through us and through Beers of Europe. But that's our 5% red, which is a really nice beer. But so this is our latest one in can.
Let's dive in.
So yeah, quite a dry finish with the rye beer.
Oh yeah, very dry, very crisp.
Yeah.
Nice,
again,
nice bitterness on the back end as well on this one.
What are your thoughts on sort of rye beers in general? I know they do sort of marmite the crowd sometimes. They see a rye ale and they think, I won't touch it with a barbie pole.
I think the rye is the absolute, because rye will grow anywhere. Rye will grow anywhere. It's like you can stick that stuff in Siberia and rye will grow. So it's really been the backbone. It's been the backbone of like if we have an overly wet winter, if we have an overly dry winter, rye will just grow. It's the most hardened crop out there. So if you flip that in terms of kind of beer, if some of the other, how can we put it after we've had a few beers? The softer malts out there, if they die off in the winter, then the rye malt is always a great kind of like backstop. Really, it's always there. You can always choose it because the blooming stuff will grow anywhere. But again, I like the spiciness. I like the pepperiness. I like the spiciness of rye malt. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I think the key, especially with this beer and other ones, is you can definitely overkill it with rye. I think sometimes in your mash build, and it can be, if you get too much in there, it can be sort of overpowering and spicy and sort of put you off. But I think the key with the rye beer is just getting that combination of
balance,
malt and the different sort of balance. You want it there, but not so overpowering that that's all you can taste. It's a nice one to get, and this was our session beer for the World Cup. We did it again this year, and again goes well on cask and on keg, and just is a nice all-round beer.
Simon Woods put in my new lockdown hobby. I've used the word. Never mind. Is buy new to me beers, see if Simon's reviewed them, and then have a drink along with on a YouTube review. I have bigger fingers, I think. Yeah, so I do the 3 or 4 finger the head thing. But yeah, thanks, Simon Wood. Really appreciate it. So yeah, I like this. I do. It's a good beer.
Yeah, again, originally, I'd say it was brewed for sort of a rugby day where you might have 3 or 4 games on and you don't want to go too hard, too fast. So, yeah, all the beers we drunk tonight have been sort of 5% or less. And, yeah, they're sort of go-to session beers.
Nice, kind of sessionable, drinkable, refreshing.
Well, that's what you want. When you're in it for the long haul, that's what you want.
Yeah. It's been a nice variety, haven't it? We've had golden ales, pale ales, stouts, rye ales. Yeah, they've been really good. Absolutely fantastic. Really good. Great stuff. I'm probably now, as it's coming towards the end of the live feed, I'm going to ask Alex for your final thoughts. How you thought the evening's gone, and I thought it's gone quite quickly from 7 till 10. It's,
that's what a few cans will do for you, I think. But yeah, it's been really nice actually. It's definitely been. I must admit, I was a little bit nervous or apprehensive, just because it's something I've never done before. But actually, I wouldn't hesitate to do one of these with yourself or someone again, sort of understanding the format and the community a bit more. So it's been really nice. Yeah, I've been sort of keeping half an eye on the comment section that's been going here, and like I say, you've got a really good community going, and people seem to. It's quite nice that it's interactive and not just two people talking and nothing else happening. You know, you've got people chatting here, you've got likes going, you've got people asking questions, so it involves more than just a one-way dynamic between you and I, which is nice. Everyone's feedback seems to be going well. Looks like a few people have enjoyed some of the beers we've got in, all different beers Europe and ourselves, which is nice. And if at the end of this, we will look back at it and decide to get in a mixed bag of our beers and some of the other great beers that Europe have, then fantastic. And at the end of it, we come away with the collaboration brew. It's going to get launched at the taproom site. So there you go. There's going to be, and I'm sure when we put it out to the millions that are watching, when we get it canned and kegged and casked, and they can order it to their doorstep straight away. And if we do produce it at our place, we can put it into cask so people can get 9-pint mini pins and enjoy cask beer at home of that collab, wherever it might be. So yeah, we've got a new beer out of it and a new friendship. So what's not to like?
It's been brilliant. Beers of Europe have just come in with a comment saying you've been great, Alex. Thank you.
Well,
Everybody, yeah, absolutely. It's been a wonderful night all round. It really has. Everybody involved, Beers of Europe, Alex, all of you lovely people commenting and getting involved. The collaboration is going to be amazing. I've never been down your way of the world, getting down there and releasing this beer at Beers of Europe. I've always wanted to go to Norfolk because I always see it as the warmest kind of place of the UK, really, because the storms generally they hit us in Wales and then they kind of make their way up to Norway. So the lovely people down there in Norfolk, Suffolk way, they are Kent, they seem to have, pardon me, beautiful summers, really nice, beautiful summers. And yeah, if we can get that beer, and Simon was saying this in Surrey, south of London, and these guys are in the south of London, but it will be released. It's going to be, it's going to be released.
Well, we'll try and we'll have a chat later, like maybe tomorrow before the end of the week. We'll decide on the collab, and maybe we'll announce it across the socials in the coming days or whatever, and decide what we're going to do once Boris and the rest of the country and the circumstances allow. And we'll speak with Beers of Europe and find where we can sort of trifecta the launch and brew day, and we'll do it. Yeah, it's exciting.
We'll get it done. Yeah, Beers of Europe are saying we'll wait for the for me to visit. I'd love to. I want to get back down there because I always remember it being so much warmer than than where we are here in Wales. It's always a drier part of the world. And I like dry. I like Spain.
Yeah.
Alex, it's been amazing. It really has been amazing. Preferably, if we can do some kind of magic vice beer, that would be my choice.
Look, you said it. I'm down for German. The boys
Yeah.
will do it. We need to do it. So we'll sort something out. But yeah, we'll speak for sure.
And also, Brew London is confirmed for 2021. And you and Mel are coming down with us. Yep. Me and Mel will be coming down to Brew London. I've never been to Brew London. Have you been to Brew London, Alex?
Not that particular one, no. I've been to a few different ones, but yeah, I'm sure it'll be awesome. Who doesn't like a beer festival? So yeah, sure.
Yeah, so perhaps you can join that with us. Joe Biden is saying, please support Beers of Europe. Place an order with the Dorking beers. Brilliant.
Please do. So we like to see, support local independent breweries.
And I suppose we'll speak in the week, Alex, with this collaboration with Beers of Europe. It's going to be absolutely terrific. Absolutely
Fantastic.
terrific. Okay, thank you all so very much for joining us tonight. We did 264 likes. There's 123 people watching. It's been fantastic. Thank you all so very much. Let's tune out. See you all again.
Cheers.
See you all
Have a
Friday.
good evening. Take it easy.
See you all Friday
Cheers.
at the Pro Virtual Pub, 7 o'clock start.
All the best, bye.